All right, what's going on, everybody? Shout out to the DR. Shout out to the DR. Shout out to the chat. Respect everybody here. And as you guys can kind of tell, I'm back from the DR. Had a beautiful time out there. Very lovely, respectful people. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, just let me know. Put a comment, and I'll answer that. And yeah, you can see on the screen the gentleman, the L Alpha, the rapper, Dominican rapper, and you got Drake right here. Just kind of found that image, wanted to share it. That was one of his tunes. And yeah. So the DR is lit, beautiful island, beautiful people, and definitely going to go back, explore more of the country uh, the next time I'm out there, whenever that is. But I definitely highly recommend it to everybody, to any traveler. Like I did a couple like live streams, I think a couple days ago when I was over in Santo Domingo, and that's my recommendation was, you guys got to check it out, that specific city as well, because there's a heavy mulatto presence in that city. You walk around, especially I was in like the zona colonial area, and you see mulattoes everywhere, right? So definitely someone who looks like me, my look, my phenotype, I feel like I fit right in. There's a language barrier. I mean, one of the goals I had going over there was so I can improve my Spanish and practice more, right? If I'm in that environment where you're surrounded by primarily Spanish speakers, it's going to force me to have to converse more in Espanol. And that was very beneficial, right? So, like, if I lived there for like, several months, 6 months, let's just say that, oh, my Spanish would drastically improve, even if it was like 2 months, right? 8 weeks. Like, so I was only over there for like a little more than 1 week. But if I was there for like 8 weeks, I mean, shoot, it would drastically improve because I'd be forced to that whole kind of immersing myself not only in the language but the culture is the language is Spanish language is connected, right? It's definitely connected. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Mulattoes are being attacked and scapegoated, which is a very common occurrence, pastime, we can say, here in the states, United States, right? And I put here, what can we learn from this? What can we learn from these incidents? Obviously, you can look on the screen, or the thumbnail, I should say, of this live stream. I have a couple images there. One image I have of like Kamala Harris, right? Who's not directly, I mean, her father is a mulatto, Jamaican mulatto, her father, right? And her mother is Indian, Brahma Indian. So she's multiracial, right? For all intents and purposes. But you have to be aware, and you have to understand that many people, racist, black extremists, are going to look at her and just coin and label her as a mulatto, right? To scapegoat her. We're going to get into that. I'm going to talk about something I saw over on X. Actually, this whole stream, I'm going to bring you guys some sources that I found over on X earlier today. That's why I decided to hop up here. So yeah, mulattoes being attacked. We're gonna go over the lady. So I just mentioned Kamala Harris. I'm gonna talk a little bit about her, and then the lady, the mulatto woman who was literally viciously and racially attacked in a beauty supply store. Okay, I uploaded a couple of those clips, right? But I didn't really provide my own commentary, so I want to play those video clips and then kind of give my commentary, and I want you guys to be engaged in the discussion as well. So we got Renata Mulata here. Hello, I hope everyone is well. This live already looks interesting. Thank you for being here. We got Macaroni Tony, right? And then you read my mind with this topic, Vanguard. Let's go. Yep. Hey, what's up? Shout out to you. And then we got Northern Light in the house. Shout out to you. Celine is here. Celine put, I went to Bermuda. It was beautiful. I definitely want to visit Aruba next. Yeah, Aruba is on my list as well, for sure. I want to do some like the ATV riding on the beaches. I did that in the DR in Punta Cana, and it was fun as fuck. I got to ride on those like ATVs. I rode one all the way to one of their beaches they have, and it was like one of the best days I had out there. Just looking at the nature, doing something new. That was my first time ever riding on an ATV. I've rode on a couple bikes, a dirt bike and other like street motorcycles, but not like a four-wheel kind of ATV. So that was the first time riding over rocks, going real fast. And yeah, I rode to one of their beaches over there in the DR, Macau, and it was really nice. So, but yeah, I want to do that in Aruba as well. I want to rent one of those ATVs and ride on the sand on the beach and then chill on the beach. I don't know when I'm gonna go out there, but Aruba looks pretty nice. Kamala Harris isn't black woman. Yeah, her father's like Jamaican mulatto. So, and her mother's Brahma Indian, so that would make her, yeah, mixed multiracial. So she's like more Indian than she is like. And let me just share, for instance, since we're on that, did I see it trending on X? Let me see. No, I don't see it. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I saw something. It was on X. I saw like a tab, and it said trending. Kamala Harris is Indian or something like that, because her whole identity is coming into question because the blacks want to know, what are you going to do for the blacks, right? She said like 4 years ago, or yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, she's like, I'm just not going to do nothing just for blacks. No, right? They haven't got the clue yet though. They're still going to see what they can try to milk out of her. Yeah. Put here, according to one content creator, Kamala is now the reason the people, people he communities the gender war. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they always got to blame and scapegoat the mulattoes for something. Shout out to Jezebel in the house. Reason for the communities gender war. Yeah, everything's always someone else's fault when you deal with them. Aruba is a desert island, so you don't have to worry about hurricanes, which is really nice. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about Aruba. One of my students from Poland had his honeymoon out there in Aruba, and he really liked it. So that's kind of where I got the recommendation from. So yeah, let's check it out. What we're gonna get into. Let's go into the whole beauty supply store fiasco. Crazy, isn't it, guys? Crazy. Yeah, right. Oh, this is what I was talking about. You can see here it says politics trending. Kamala is Indian. You guys see that right there? Kamala is Indian. So that's like on the trending on the X. So that's what I was talking about earlier, trying to see. Oh, interesting. Her whole like racial identity. Yeah, she's for sure going to be more connected with her Indian heritage than her, because she doesn't. I think her mother passed away, Kamala Harris's mother, but her father is still alive. But you never hear anything about her father. Like I believe her father, um, what do they say? Like disowned her. I believe so. I don't want to spread rumors, but I heard something about that. That's because her father is still alive, but you don't really see him or hear anything about him, which is kind of odd, right? But I do believe I heard a rumor, and I don't want to spread rumors, but in this instance, got to put some context here that I think her father kind of disowned her, so she has a bad relationship with her father. So I'm pretty sure she's more connected with her mother's heritage. But yeah, that's Kamala right there. So this lady here, so I shared this. I first heard about this a couple of days ago over on X because a mulatto woman, a page, a channel that I follow, shared this video. And so I just basically kind of downloaded the video and then I uploaded it to YouTube so I can bring the discussion over here to you guys. And I didn't even know who this lady was. This is the woman who uploaded the video. This is her account. Says your fave fatty B. So she's like a proud BBW. And she's a content creator in a sense where she is like a sex worker. She sells explicit content. If you go to her page, you know, you'll see a bunch of that stuff there. Okay. With her clothes off and all that stuff. Okay. So that's the type of content she does, and that's her business. But we're going to talk about this racial incident that happened. This is her account here. Yeah, Tris Mari. Okay. And she puts here, getting harassed at a beauty supply store for being a quote unquote half breed in Dallas, Texas. She puts here, I just wanted to get some lashes for real, right? So she was just there as a patron, as a customer, right? Wanted to buy some supplies. And a couple of The Dusty Quains. Actually, it was not couple. I think it was like one of them, but the other ones just kind of laughed and were not really containing the wild beast. So they're basically accomplices, right? And this one main particular one was shouting, loud and all this stuff. Let's listen to this.
Your daughter called me half breed.
Leave it alone,
So-
y'all. Just leave it alone.
Your daughter called me half breed.
Leave it alone,
So-
y'all. Just leave it alone, please.
Girl, child, like I said, I'm not interrupting my enemy while they're getting ready to make a mistake.
Okay.
She said, "I'm not interrupting my enemies while they're making a mistake." She doesn't even know this person, but she identifies her as an enemy. So the funny thing is like a lot of these mulattoes are oblivious and they're cowards to these blacks. And they sit here and they think that this is like fun and games, or they just got to apologize, or they got to be like, oh, look at what they're doing. They're so mean to me. They don't fight the fire with fire. They don't check it. Right? This stuff is gonna continue to happen. And because of Kamala Harris, you're gonna see a lot more, and not just from the blacks, the whites as well. Right? Because remember, the white population, they always use and weaponize the blacks against the mulattoes to keep the mulattoes in check. Right? And so you're going to see both groups coming together, working together to neutralize mulattoes, especially surrounding this Kamala Harris situation. You're going to see it. I'm letting you know right now. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. Trust me. Okay. And I'll be here to share the information with you. But what that Dusty Quain just said about, not interrupting her enemies while they're making a mistake. So she looks at this random stranger as an enemy. Why is that? Why is that, right? But then a lot of you coward mulattoes don't look at them as an enemy. Oh no, that's your fam. That's your, you're a subordinate. You're a quote unquote subgroup to them. That's your people. Yeah. Yeah. Even though Kendrick, they tell you you're not like them, right? But whatever. Let me continue on. I think with this woman, her situation is, look, she's a content creator and there's a specific market she's tapping into. She's a proud BBW, that's her thing. But we know who are the chubby chasers, right? Who are the guys who have this kind of fetish for this light skin, kind of chunkier chick, right? There's one specific demographic, right, that finds that like super, super appealing. And I'm not saying this woman's not appealing. She's a mulatta. All mulattas are pretty. But let's be real. This BBW niche, if we can say that, right? It's gonna be black males. Okay. There's a famous a corn star, right? Her name was Pinky. A lot of the black guys like her. She's a mixed chick as well, biracial chick, and she has like pink hair, but she has the BBW kind of physique. Okay, and that's very popular with them. They like that. They like the mixed chick, the light skinned chick, who's got a several extra pounds on her. So, and I just kind of clicked on this woman's page and I scrolled through her timeline and I can tell, oh, okay, I get it. I understand, yeah, her market, who she's gonna sell her content with, the type of guys she's gonna work with to create content. I get it. I understand. Like we're and for her, it's basically, yeah, go where you're celebrated. Those guys are gonna simp for you more, and those guys, you're right. So you're gonna go where the money's at. The guys who are gonna simp for you and support you, it's all that stuff. So I get it. But since that's the case, she's kind of stuck there, right, with them in that group. She can't just bounce, right? And but the thing is, you have to understand the strategy of a mulatta who is like her, who's stuck in that quagmire. When she comes across one of these wild beasts in these beauty supply stores, these racist wild beasts who are trying to attack her, this mulatta, they need black males for protection. This is why a lot of them, they end up getting knocked up by black males and becoming baby mamas from black males, because they need the black male to justify their presence amongst black females in that group. So they need black males for protection from the black queens. This is how it works. This is how it works. You can all see it. You all know it. Maybe a lot of us can't articulate it. I'm doing the best I can, but this is precisely what it is. So, and of course, there's going to be the problems are going to continue because you're going to make the queens more and more jealous. Like I said, her presence, her mere presence in that store with that black beast, that's arguing with her mere presence there made her so upset to the fact where she's calling her an enemy. Just complete stranger, minding her own business, buying lashes. And you got people out here literally looking at you like it's warfare. You're an enemy. I say what Scott Adams said, just get the fuck away from them. I mean, that's the word of advice. I think Scott Adams is hilarious. He's absolutely right. That's been my advice for at least, 3 years now. Been public with it for 2 years. I'm just like, get the fuck away from them. If they're not dancing for you or paying you or, get away because these are the type of problems you run into.
Go ahead and make it a steak.
She right here. I got your mama.
Yeah, no.
Hey, mother.
No,
She
no,
right here.
no, no. I already know. No. Like I said,
What happened?
no.
What happened?
No.
I didn't say anything.
No.
Mulatto, half-breed,
Okay,
not
no.
black.
There you go.
What she doing?
She's calling her mulatto and half breed, right? Remember I said half breed is a word that a lot of the black savages will use against mulatto. But the mulatto word is an accurate descriptor. And it's a good thing that they're calling this woman a mulatto because they're making the distinction known. Because the same knucklehead who's going to turn around and be like, oh, you think you better. The white man just going to see you just like us. There's no such thing as a mulatto. You just a light-skinned black, right? They like to play those kind of Blackistan, Bantu mental gymnastics with you. On one side, they'll call you mulatto. They'll make the distinction. They'll say you're different than them. But then when I acknowledge it, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm not like you people. Yeah, I'm different than you. Then they'll turn around and be like, no, wait a second. You can't leave me here. You got to come back over here to my shithole, roach coach communita. And you just like one of us. You just a lighter skin one of, all the white people and everyone else, they look at you just like one of us. You just the same shit. Yeah, right. Once you travel around, not just even in this country, United States, a big country, but when you go to other places around the world, you realize you're right. They look at me different than you people, right? And I'm very happy about that. And of course, you'll have some extreme cases where you'll have people who will lump you together. Okay. But that's not the majority of the case, not from my experience. But yeah, the distinction is good. The distinction is good when she's calling this lady a mulatta. She is. I like it. This is proof. This is good stuff for me. Good material for me. This is proof. You're not a black like them. And I mean, the sad part is you got these mulattoes. Okay, this woman, I don't know her whole story, but right. Um, surrounded by black males. That's the market. You kind of, market yourself in a, I get it. You're empowered. You're, proud kind of, BBW. You're empowered and sexualized and all this stuff. You're marketing to the black males. Okay, yeah. But there's a flip side to that. Then you run into the fat black females who are going to be jealous of you because you're mulatta, because you're not a black like them, right? Get it? Get it? Is it clicking?
There you go. There you
What
go.
you doing in here? What you
Okay.
doing in here?
Okay, but you're not finna. Okay.
Go away. Go right here.
And she's also using the term cave bitch, okay, or B. Gotta kind of watch my expletives. And yeah, so she's using like racist white language. Yeah, pink. She's calling her pink B, a cave B, right? Letting her know she's not a darkie like them. She's not the same. And the funny thing is, I pointed out, is I screenshotted. There's like a white security guard in the store who like saw the whole situation. There's a white guy there, bald, white, older white guy sitting there. He looked like a security guard watching the whole thing go down. And we're sitting there like they're not talking about the white guy, right? They're not talking about white males, right? They're talking about the white women, specifically those who had a black partner and they have a biracial child if the child is female, right? Which is the majority of the biracials in, United States, Canada, or in England, right? Majority are gonna have white moms and black fathers. So indirectly, the lady's attacking most of you, right? And she doesn't even know if this biracial lady has a white mom. I don't know. Who knows? Whose business is it? I have a lot of these creatures on my social media. They'll put a comment, which mom is or which parent's black. Like they'll start trying to like dissect my family and shit. Right? No dignity, class, or ethics when you're dealing with savages. But I get a lot of those comments. I always laugh and kind of giggle, right? And if they make an assumption about one of my parents, I just make an assumption about them. It's a tit for tat game with me moving forward. Okay. But then again, I'm like the bad guy, so I don't know. You tell me.
Y'all go over here. Look,
You're
look,
white.
look. Go
You're
over
white.
here.
I'm trying to get my lashes, so
Away.
you
Why
know.
Come here,
are you
come here.
coming
And she's calling her white too, which yeah, partially true. But it's like the blatant racism, right? And then like this is why I have this channel to talk about this stuff. But then of course, you'll have your coward mulatto Bantu butt kissers who will say, "Oh, well, you're not balanced. You're not talking about the other people." I'm like, man, this material just like basically lands on my lap, literally. This material, it's so prevalent. You see this stuff and it just appears. I'm like, okay, great. I got more shit to talk about. I was kind of getting bored over here. I mean, for me, I was on vacation. I was just chilling. But I mean, I still scrolled through social medias, not only my mulatto stuff, but my personal whatever. Everyone's all connected through social media. So I'm just scrolling around and I see this stuff. I'm like, oh, interesting. Interesting. You guys just give me material.
Don't touch me.
Come here.
Do not fucking touch me.
And you see how they invaded her space, her privacy. They put their hands on her. You see that? How creepy these creatures are. Racial attacks, calling her their enemy and all this, and then they invade her space. That's why I wouldn't even be in a store like that. If I go to a restaurant, I think I was at like I saw a group of them. I was it in San Juan. I think it was San Juan or Puerto Rico or even in the area I'm at over here. I go to some business or establishment, I see a group, I just walk the other way. I don't even want to deal with them. If it's like a one-on-one, okay, yeah, it's a fair fight. But if I see groups of them, it's like, look, I'm not interested. Okay. Unless you're singing songs or something for me. But yeah, I'm not. No, no. I'm not going to be put in a situation like this where this lady's outnumbered. One Mulatta, okay? And he got 3 of these beasts who are going to try to gang up and attack you. And you guys think it's a game out here.
Please,
You don't
don't.
like black women.
Because I know you probably don't
I bet
like
you won't hit me. You know, I bet y'all kick you up in your asshole. I bet y'all kick you up in your mulatto.
You see how she's going on with the threats. This random mulatto woman, okay, is in the store to buy some lashes, and these beasts are already invading her space, yelling aggressively racial attacks at her, and they're threatening her. Right? Let me rewind it a bit and so you guys can hear it. They are literally threatening a stranger. They already called her an enemy. They're calling her racial slurs, anti-white, anti-mulatto, invading her space, her boundaries. They put their hands on her. She had to tell them, don't put your hands on me. Now they're threatening to fight her. Listen to this.
You know, I bet y'all kick you up in your asshole. I bet y'all kick you up in your mulatto hair free.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
You guys heard that, right? She said, I'll bet I'll kick you in your mulatto half breed A, B, right? Complete strangers. Don't even know these people, right? You just walk in there to buy lashes, and this is what happens. See, that's why I say, I don't even go to places like this. You're not going to find me at the Waffle House or the crab leg spots and all this crap. No. If I got to spend more money, which I usually do, to go somewhere where I don't have to see them, that's what I do. No. If it's not business or something, I know. You wouldn't find me. I know for her, she was trying to get her lashes. I mean, I saw a comment someone put, just get your stuff off Amazon or something, your lashes or whatever. Go somewhere else. I don't get it. But you see, when she's dealing with the black males, everything's all good, right? Like Drake said, I like my girls BBW, right? You're dealing with the black males, everything's good. They're all gonna be nice to you because you're their preference, right? But on the flip side, then you're running to the queens, right? And you know the community is a matriarchy. hmm So yeah, think about that.
Bitch, bitch. No,
We
no,
should do
no.
nothing
You
to
come over
you.
here specifically to fuck with black women. You know you can't stand.
And they're on she's on the defensive, making a claim, and she, a proud victim, right? Saying that, oh, you came in here just to F with black women. You know you don't like us. And they're sitting there like, what the hell? Already making assumptions. You don't like me. And her, savage, primitive brain, she's saying, well, she's justified to attack this Mulatta because she has these preconceived notions that, well, you don't even like us. You just want to harass us, right? Your mere presence for a lot of them, see, that's what irritates them. Your mere presence walking into the store to buy some. See, because with those queens, it doesn't matter all the wigs and shit and the makeup they buy. They're never going to look like this Mulatta. See, that's what it is. So just the mere presence of this Mulatta infuriates them to where they want to attack her, right? And if they were in like high school or grade school, they try to cut her or cut her hair. And that's what I've heard these stories from these women. See, I didn't go to a school. I wasn't in an environment where I was raised primarily around these savages. So I didn't have to deal with those issues. It wasn't until I became an adult and I started working in like Los Angeles, navigating and certain environments, I started to see, okay, I get it now. I can see the correlations between the wealth discrepancies, the incarceration rates in the culture and the pro Nipsey hustle, and I get it now. I look at the culture, it makes sense why they have the results they have. And I analyze their behavior. And even just a random guy like me, I'm not special. Nobody's special. And I go in those environments and I'm like, I get it now. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. It's not white supremacy's fault. It's their fault. Okay.
Black women, you mulatto, white, nasty, cake, fat ass bitch.
What the fuck, dude?
Now they're laughing like it's a joke. You want to go to the seafood restaurant with them? You want to go to the crab leg spot with them? Have some crab legs, and they're not going to leave a tip either. They're going to make a mess. They're going to be loud and obnoxious, right? They're going to make a mess, and they're not going to leave a tip. You want to hang out with them? I mean, they're sitting there like trying to humiliating this woman, right? But trying to bully this mulatto woman who they're clearly envious of, and yeah, and then they're sitting there laughing at it. That's why they're all involved. Like, yeah, maybe one of them was like using the slurs and the threats and all that stuff, one of the beasts, but you can hear multiple voices laugh, which is an indicator that they are basically all in on it. Because they should have checked that one beast immediately, but they didn't. I can hear multiple people laughing. Yeah, they're all in on it. Yeah, we already know what time it is. Over on this channel, on my social media, we already know what time it is.
This is insane.
You see how she's like trying to lie into herself? Like, who's jealous of your face? Who's jealous of your hair? You fat ass hoe, right? And then this is a fat black bitch, like calling this mulatto fat. It's like, okay, yeah. And yeah, she's clearly she's lying to herself, trying to say who's jealous of her face and of her hair. Yeah, you are, lady, or female. You're not a lady. I would never respect you. As a woman or a lady, you don't deserve that title, so you get the title female. I mean, over here, I'm basically calling you a beast because you're acting like it, so you get called it. Threatening this woman like that. Ladies don't do that. They don't go out in public use that vulgarity, threaten random strangers, calling people enemy, like all this masculine kind of posturing. This is very primitive and savage like. It's like a beast. Okay, ladies don't act like that, right? This mulatto woman's acting like a lady. She's maintaining her composure, being calm. She's recording the whole ordeal so we could talk about it. And it's crazy stuff.
Remember, you can grow hair. What you doing in here? And this makeup is not for you. It's not for you. The makeup, the hair, beauty supply. What you doing in here? You trying to start some shit, bitch? You know you are. You know you are, bitch. You know you are, bitch. You know you are. You fucking fat ass half breed.
Y'all want to start?
Calling her a fat ass half breed. Now look at the image here. Right? These are all fat ass. What do we want to call them, guys? Whose feelings we're gonna hurt? Actually, most of the people whose feelings are gonna get hurt are these fucking mulattoes who cape for these animals. That's it. I already get it. Like most of the people who don't like me or my commentary are mulattoes who black baby mamas, black baby daddies, whatever. Like this is it. Like they've been conditioned to serve these individuals, and they think they're cool, they're hip, and all this shit. That's what I see. Oh, they're more hood. They understand the lingo, all this stuff. Like, oh, how has that worked out for a lot of you guys? To me, it doesn't seem like it has. I don't know, unless you can lead the organization or be on top or something. But a lot of you, especially you content creators or whatever, I'm like, I don't, no. It doesn't look like it's working out for a lot of you, unless you got massive followings, which I just don't really see it. I don't.
Bitch, you bitch. What you doing in here? You so rich and this and that.
Rich?
You ass half breed.
And he's saying, yeah, rich. She's throwing out saying, oh, what are you doing in here? You rich. And there's a white guy in the background. So it looks like a security guy, whatever, trying to make sure these savages don't steal shit, right? They got to hire it's probably an Asian owned business too. Hire the white guy, make sure the beasts don't steal shit. And yeah. So he's talking about, she's assuming that this lady, this Mulatta is rich. Like her is, yeah, your fave fatty B. And like I said, I'm not going to go to her whole profile because, it's inappropriate against the guidelines for the for this platform. What's on her page, it's for on X, it's appropriate, right? But not on YouTube. But yeah, she has explicit content up there, right? So I don't know her bank account, what money she's making, whatever. But I don't, doesn't appear to be rich. Especially like, yeah, that's an indicator. If you're in a store like this with these type of creatures, like, yeah, you're probably kind of price conscious. You want to save a couple pennies, right? You just pay a couple extra bucks, get your stuff mailed to you on Amazon or something. This is a lesson to her too. I guarantee you she learned a lesson now. Don't go into these businesses where these people, congregate at and stuff like that.
You mulattoes, thank you, bitch. I bet your mammy is white.
And she says, I bet your mammy is white, right? I bet. How does she know? How does she know, right? Just an excuse to attack a white woman. The beauty standards of the world, we say, of the Western world, or we can say America, United States, Canada, and like in Europe for sure. Because I think I know for a fact in places like South America or the Latin America, let's say that the Latin women are the standard, right? Not necessarily the Anglo-Saxon blonde, blue-eyed aesthetic. Because like when I was over in DR, I'm looking at the women there. It's like it's gonna be the mulattas or the mestiza. Okay, same thing for me. I mean, in Brazil, a lot of those Latin American countries, or Colombia or something, or Peru, Venezuela, Cuba. It's gonna be the mestiza woman, brown skin, light brown skin, or even other cases white skin, but brunette, have those features, brown eyes, etc. So that aesthetic is more so the standard, I think, in Latin America versus United States. But I could be wrong. You guys could correct me if I am. But yeah, there's no nation anywhere around here where this creature is the standard. So yeah.
I'm saying bitch is white, fat, nasty white hoe, just like this bitch right here. Pink bitch, you nasty bitch, and I don't even have nothing against her.
See, calling her a pink. That's like in the pro-black circles, right? They use the term for like anti-white term. They call people colonizers, right? But they also call people pink in a reference to like white people. They call it pink, right? So yeah, what it is, what this behavior, this vicious kind of animalistic racism, it's because they haven't gone checked, right? And especially a lot of it because of social media. They've been running their mouth on social media for so long. They haven't really been checked. Okay. And they can't deal with the reality that they're at the bottom of the society. And this half Indian woman, Kamala Harris, isn't going to help these people. Right. But they're still stupid. They're going to vote for her because they know damn well Trump is going to give them the boot. So they're kind of stuck in an awkward quagmire. They don't really have any options, no allies, no support. All of their politicians are sellouts. They're all bought and paid for. They have no representation in a representative democracy. Hey, and who am I to say shit? Because mulattoes, you guys don't have any representation either. And the reason why, primarily, because you mulattoes are kissing their fucking rear end, right? You're trying to represent them. And then they spit in your face and you look stupid as fuck. You got a guy like me who's out here, you know, talking my shit. Basically, trying to wake up some people, but I've woken up enough. It's all good. I mean, it's all good. I already see. Shout out to the dude, the Creole cat. His name is Mr. Mulatto. He I see him uploading. He's putting out some content on TikTok, and just keep doing it, man. Keep doing it. Like keep getting your voice out there, because people will resonate with you. Like I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I know for a fact I piss people off, ruffle feathers, because right. So, but I like to see other people pop up and put this material out there, kind of raise the awareness of this mulatto consciousness. This is the thing. And they're letting you know right here. This lady is, and I got, I'm too respectful. I can't call this beast a lady, but this creature here, calling her Mulatta, calling her a half breed. And hopefully this Mulatta gets her wake up call. Hopefully she goes on YouTube or whatever. I followed her here on X, but remember, this is her kind of her side hustle account. But hopefully, like she starts to do research and look for some kind of, mixed race content, reaching out to people to find a level of kind of community cohesion, people who have been there, have been in similar experiences, circumstances. You can brainstorm and navigate with these people, just develop a sense of community. People who look like you, who that you identify as. I hope she's getting her wake up call.
Up by racial women. I just don't like the stanky one, the white mothers like you, bitch. I hate you. I hate you, bitch. I hate you, bitch. Get the fuck out of here, bitch!
Okay, we're gonna just go. No, we're just gonna go. No. No.
I don't care if they go with Flavor Flav.
No.
They
You
can
have a
have
good
Flavor
point.
Flav.
And you hear some other like older woman, real old nasty voice talking about they can have Flavor Flav. I don't care if they go with Flavor Flav. What the hell? What does Flavor Flav have to do with anything? That's very bizarre when I heard that. Like they brought up Flavor Flav. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Flavor Flav. That dude's like an ex crackhead who's like a hype man for what was that group? Public Enemy, pro black group, hip hop group. Flavor Flav. What the hell? Isn't Flavor Flav? He's got a bunch of kids by a bunch of different women. Most of his kids are black from last time I saw. He's probably got some mixed kids there, but I mean, I think most of the kids I saw, like his offspring, they're mostly black. So he has a bunch of like black baby mamas. I don't know why the hell they reference Flavor Flav, because maybe he was on that he's on the reality TV show, right? And there's a bunch of non-black women and stuff on the show. And yeah, that was a long time ago though. Like this video that this lady did in the beauty supply store, this is like a couple of days ago. Was it called Flavor and Love, Flavor Flav VH1? Man, that shit was like 10 plus years ago. I was in high school when that series came out. Reality TV show. That was a joke too. Flavor Flav. The hell does he have to do with anything? I don't get it.
You done?
She's saying they can have Flavor Flav. I think what they're basically saying is you can have the kind of awkward, weird, kind of creepy, black guys, but they don't want this Mulatta to get the in shape, the physically fit black guys who are going to the gym every day. It's a little too late for that because on her page, I told you those are going to be her fans. Those are going to be the guys she creates content with. That's going to be her market. Okay. Those are her fans. So it's like, and I think they know it too. I mean, that's why they were upset, because they know that, what's the term they use? Voluptuous. She's thick, and she has in her handle says your fave fatty B, right? So they don't want her getting the higher quality black males who are in shape. They're like, you can get the scrawny ones like Flavor Flav. You have all these comments here. Learn how to fight, man. I'm not fighting for no reason, and also had surgery, so no thanks. You're so rich and this and that. Rich, yeah. As someone who grew up poor and is fighting to stay in lower middle class by myself, that comment, yeah, she just made an assumption that she was like rich or something when she's like a sex worker, content creator. And look at who we have here who took the time to put a comment. Tommy Sotomayor. This is the same fucking cockroach who's gonna call biracials half breeds. I look, don't fall for this whole, black gender war bullshit from these fucking savages, because that's what they're gonna do. Okay. Tommy Soto Moisture is the same cockroach who was calling. I remember I've heard a few of his streams. He's openly referred to us as half breed. He's using the same language as the lady, or the I said it again the third time. I got to give myself a buzzer or something. What am I doing? That beast in the video.
Shit, Negro, that's all you had to say.
The same individual in the video, okay? The black beast who was attacking the Mulatta, was calling the Mulatta half breed. This dumb piece of shit, Tommy Soto Moisture, has openly called us biracials, mulattoes, half breeds as well. He's the same as her. I put both of these savages in the same category. I'm not your friend, boy. Like, you got me fucked up. I'm telling you, I've been watching you fucking savages and making notes. Okay. Let's read what he puts here. Dark-skinned black women have always been jealous of mixed chicks. Tell us something we don't know. You're an instigator, Tommy. We all know that. Notice how she said she had no problem with biracial, only the ones with white mothers. They love when a white man is with a black woman, but not the other way around. Yeah, we already get it. But you see how he's going to instigate and use this for his content? Probably. I think he's over on Rumble or something. I don't like this guy. Because I already know what it is. He's another one of these savages. He doesn't like biracials. I heard it out of his own mouth, calling us half breeds. Okay, I got it. I got the memo. I've taken my notes, homie, so I'm good. I don't mess with you. I got some of these mulattoes who come up in here like, have you heard of Tommy Sotomayor? You heard of Tommy I don't give a fuck. Tommy Sotomayor, he's on the same team as the rest of those fucking savages. Dark skin is beautiful, but she's insecure and jealous. She was the one that bullied the light-skinned girls in school. Yeah. Sucks if you got to go to school with them. Yeah, so you got a lot of comments here. I'm not going to get into all the comments. I'm going to get into your guys' comments. And we're going to talk about Kamala Harris, because else is there to say about that whole situation? What else is there to say? I mean, do I have another commentary on it? I basically said the main thing is is that the distinction was being made. That she made the distinction for you. She called you mulatto, and a half breed. Okay, she's letting you know you're not like them. What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna, you should be honored and thankful, right? You better wake up better sooner than later. Okay, and what we got here? Queen Bee. Let me go up a little bit more. Apologize for the cough, guys. Let's go. We got they have a video of Kamala on a cooking channel. Nothing, excuse me, nothing. Another Indian woman saying she's 100% South Asian Indian. Yeah, I don't know. The fact she's called her fat and she's fat. Yeah, calling the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, family of psychos. Yeah, for that, the Mulatta woman, the voluptuous Mulatta woman, yeah, her market's gonna be black males. That's fine. I mean, that's her business. I don't care. I'm defending the woman, okay, in this video because I mean, unless I'll probably if I see that there's that mulatto is talking shit about biracial guys or saying she doesn't like biracial guys or saying light skinned guys are weak, whatever, then I'm gonna be like, that's why I'm not so quick to like defend people because you know you never know, man. You never know. Like there's something could come out where it's like they've been talking all this cash shit about biracial dudes, you weak and soft and all this shit. But then once the blacks fucking check you and then you run to the biracial guys who want us to defend, I'm like, what? I'm not saying she has, but we know it's common because in order for them to fit in with the blacks, they got to talk shit about biracial men, right? They got to have black males, bastard kids, right? That's how they anchor themselves in blackness. But then also they have to, it's like a shout out to light skin history. I like a lot of the terminology that he has introduced to the discussion. I like a lot of things he says. He says a shaming ritual. He says a lot of other interesting stuff that I kind of slipped my mind at the moment, but he talks about the shaming ritual where it's literally you have that type of like anti light skin hate, literally ritualistic, these shaming rituals where it's continuous. It's not like a one and done. And so you'll have it to where a lot of some of these women, these mulattoes, who in order to fit in with that group to secure their place in Blackistan, they have to continuously throw biracial guys under the bus and they have to continuously reassure to the dark skinned males that they're not attracted to light skinned guys. So like you'll see these content creators where these are biracial women where they'll put out videos on TikTok, whatever, talking shit about Drake. And see, that's what it is. They have to let their black audience and their black friends, whatever, they have to reassure their position in blackness. They got to throw the biracial guy under the bus. They're hesitant to do it to another female because they're going to be on the girl code, right? So they won't really talk crap about another biracial female. But with a biracial male, they'll do it with the quickness. Okay. Don't tell me I'm lying because it's too common. We see it too often. You got guys like me now. We have a voice. I've had a voice. I'm just more bold now. And yeah, we see it. So there's no playing dumb. Let me see what we got here. Let me check out some of these comments before I move on. And then you put here Pinky, she has like 200K miles now. Yeah, she's old and really out of shape, but I'm saying the aesthetic. I remember Pinky from like over a decade ago. She's older woman now. And she's biracial. Her stage name is Pinky because she has like a pink hair or whatever. I don't know if it's a wig or she dyed her hair pink, but she has the same type of voluptuous kind of figure, chunky or thick or whatever. And she's light skinned, kind of caramel. But I know like a lot of black males, they really like her, right? Was very popular with black males as a kind of sex symbol, right? So I was just using her as an example. Pinky opposite of brown. Butthole. You're funny. I can't wait to be thin again. I enjoy being thin. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I got some poundage. I got to lose too. And I was at the gym earlier. And the fitness is so therapeutic for me too. I'll run, do some road work, put in some miles, and then I'll go. Like today, I lifted some weights. I actually did like 150 push-ups. Did like 100. Or I did 80. I think. No, let me see. 60 pull-ups and did some tricep exercises. So I did like chest and some cardio and chest today. Yeah, I did some curl bar and stuff like that. Weightlifting. So then tomorrow just be all straight cardio. do my boxing drills, running, jump rope, heavy bag, and then the next day I do my weight training. Yeah, I like fitness a lot. Therapeutic for me. Yeah. Says I'm overweight with an Asian man. I'm a mulatto unicorn. Yeah. Yeah. See, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's all good. That's the beautiful thing about the this whole process is we can improve ourselves every day. There's always room for improvement. It says Asian men are very sweet. I love them. Yeah, and they're very organized, right? I mean, they have code of conduct and structure, principles within their family structure. That's why they excel in every society, basically. They can set up shop in Africa, do well, set up like I would they had a Chinatown in Santo Domingo. They can set up businesses in Dominican Republic, do successful in Jamaica, wherever they go, America, everywhere, you know, outside of their homeland. It's not like with other some demographics where they get outside of their home, they were begging in their homeland for money from the government. Then they go to a new country and they're begging for benefits from the new country, right? It's yeah, yeah. Culture is a main factor. Yeah, I think for me is liquid calories. It's not the hamburgers and cheeseburgers and burritos. It's the liquid calories, the energy drinks, the soda, the cola, the beer on the weekend, right? Because I don't drink hard liquor. I drunk some rum when I was over in the DR. I had occasional mixed drinks, but it was mainly I'm a beer guy, so it's mainly just the beer. But it's really not good for you, right? Liquid calories. So that's something one of my vices, I think that's what it's called, right? A vice. Something I have to correct. Like I said, I don't smoke. I don't smoke. So that's good. But then now it's like, okay, but you drink beer, so you gotta correct that. Gotta find something else. I don't know. Mike, you think I'm gonna switch to wine from beer to wine? I don't know. My sister likes wine. It's like I'm not a wine guy though. That's the thing. I'm a dude. The dudes drink beer, right? Since my gym is near a beauty supply store, perhaps I should do a bit of field testing tomorrow morning. Those distinctions seem to become really important when the last white person leaves the room. Ah, interesting. Because when a white person's in the room, when there was like a white security guard, maybe because he was like standing in the corner and just observing, they didn't kind of notice him, or they did notice him, but they're so damn arrogant. They're so used to being racist and obnoxious, they didn't care. And yeah, but when if there's like more visible white people in the room, then they want to try to hoodwink and punk the mulatto to thinking that that mulatto's on their black team, right? On their side, right? So that's why they want to make it appear that the blacks have more numbers. Like, oh, we got them. They're light skinned. Oh, they mix, but they still black. They on our team, right? They want to give that illusion. I know better. Like I said, they know they can't play that with me. But with that lady, the Lotta lady, I don't know, it might be a little different. They could probably trick her. I don't know. Says I'm not fat or obese, but it's definitely a better life when I'm thin. Yeah. Well, you're in good shape, actually. I don't know why. I know a lot of times people are conscious, men and women for sure are conscious about their physique, their body type. I mean, people like it's funny because here on social media, on YouTube specifically, people who are calling me fat are not cammed up. They're not on camera. They're not like they have no live footage of them, no pictures they publish. So it's like I don't really take what the cowards say with any like there's no validity to it. But with you, like yeah, I see your pictures. You're not overweight in my opinion. You black, right? That's what they tell you. You black, right? But you still a half breed and a mulatto, and your mammy's white. But you black, right? See that type of stuff. I don't know how people deal with it. That's why I'm very kind of vulgar, assertive, and brash. You could call me the anti-black and the white supremacist and racist, all this shit. That's fine. You can still kiss my ass. I'm just not like you. I gotta let them know. I gotta be bold. So they don't come acting stupid. They target overweight women because they know they usually have lower self-esteem and will catch them in a vulnerable state. Who you talking about targets overweight women? Are you making the assumption black males? You're saying they target overweight women because they know they usually have lower self-esteem and will catch them in a vulnerable state. Who is targeting overweight women? Who's they? Yeah, I need to get back into swimming. My body was ace when I was a competitive swimmer. I've been watching Olympics in Jordan. Chiles is a mulatto Olympic gymnast. The white guy probably don't want to get involved. Yeah, he's hourly employee getting paid hourly. He doesn't care. Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, shit, whatever. He was just chilling. He wasn't getting in front of those wildebeest attacking the mulatta. Yeah. It's sad because that's his job. His job is mainly to catch theft from occurring, right? But also there's an incident reported. I don't know. I don't know the whole procedures at that post that gentleman's at. Don't know. They're obsessed, always want to know what we are, which parent is which, who we will reproduce with. You're right, and who we're dating, huh? Right. I think they're more fixated. Yeah, yeah. They're concerned with who we're dating. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and which one of our parents are which. And like I said, I get comments from these people, and I'm very like aggressive. I like it when they block me first before I have to block them. But I'm like I match that energy. Like it's because they're very bold. Like they'll start to talk about your mom or your parents, right? But then when you talk about their mom and stuff, they cry and whine. Don't talk about my mama and all this stuff, right? But then they ask like which mom is your mom white or your mom black? I want to know why you think the way I think. I think the way I think from interacting with you people. And I'm one of the guys who's not going to be a bitch because a lot of these mulattoes are bitches. See, that's why this stuff continues to happen, right? And there's no clear lines of distinction, being drawn out. They want to play around like, yeah, I got a white mama, but white people still consider me to be black. Like, well, that's white people. What about these Latinos and these Asians, these other groups? What the fuck? You ever considered them? Like, what do you consider yourself? Stop trying to leave it up to other people. Well, the whites just look at me like I'm a black, so I just identify as what? Why do you leave it up to them? Like, well, what do you look at in the mirror? What do you see? How do you feel? That's what, I wish more people would seriously ask themselves that question and move forward with that. And they're going to find out there's other people out there, a lot of us, that are similar like them. Meanwhile, they have no energy for their fatherless homes. Yeah, of course. Shithole communities, broke as fuck, giving all their money to Asians. I guarantee you that store that they were in was Asian owned, wasn't black owned. Guarantee you that was Asian beauty supply store because they dominate that market. They got the blacks as consumers, suckers, giving all their money to these Asians, suckers, right? And then they want to turn around and fucking get an attitude with you. Shit. Just don't be in their presence. You don't have to get that attitude. I mean, if you're on social media, with this type of content that I'm doing, it's kind of, I'm asking for it kind of, right? With this very controversial political stuff and social commentary. But yeah, like the other content that I'm doing, I do some other content. I don't deal with any of this crap, right? But my passion is for this. It's for you guys. It's for the collective, to raise the mulatto consciousness. So the passion's here, but yeah, there's gonna be some ish that comes with this. Is I wonder how long until more of them blatantly start acting like this in large numbers. It's only gonna benefit us because it's gonna put these black identified coward ass mulattoes, it's gonna push them into the corner, their backs against the wall. They're gonna seriously have to reflect on themselves and their situation. And it's gonna be easier for them to walk over here and just to kind of fit right in. They already got a seat for them. We already got a seat cleaned off for them. We got a bench. We got a couple sofas. We got some lounge chairs. So we already have some seats and we'll keep it warm for them. But these situations are good because what's going to happen is like with that lady, the mulatto lady, they're going to start to ask questions. They're going to jump online, start to ask questions, and then they're going to find our material. They're going to be like, oh shit, they already got something popping over here. It's a small little spot. It's growing every day. But they realize, oh, wait, there's a space for them. You're mulatto? Oh, you fit right in. Here's a seat. Take a seat. I'll give you a menu and let's get the party started. It says, so glad she got this on camera. I hope more show their asses like this in the future so they can stop denying this happens. Yeah. Yeah. And then they try to make it seem like, oh, you just mad you didn't fit in with the blacks. Like you're going to a beauty supply store to buy supplies and some savage beast just starts racially attacking you and threatening you. Like, how is that like trying to fit in with the blacks? Like, you're not dealing, like, in that case, with civilized individuals. But they always make that claim about fitting in. You just mad you didn't fit in with the blacks, right? What the hell are you talking about? Fitting in with what? He's not fitting in. I'm just minding my own, doing your own business. You're existing, right? And then they'll try to make it seem like, oh, this happened as a kid. You got picked on by the blacks as a kid. I didn't get picked on by you fucking creatures. Not me. No, I worked with a lot of you in the field in LA, and I realized you got serious issues. You hate your own people, you hate yourself, and you project it on the mulattoes. And I'm one mulatto who's like, I'm not putting up with that shit. Fuck you. You're not paying me. I'm just one dude. I've never said I was special. I'm just like, shit. You people aren't paying me. I don't have to fucking deal with you. What the fuck? I didn't grow up around you. I wasn't punked and conditioned to deal with this. This isn't normal. This shit's not normal. And so yeah, her attempt at being insulted is actually flattering. If someone tried to talk ish, calling me a mulatto, I'd smile and affirm myself. Yeah, yeah. Well, they want the ability to in-group and out-group you, to use you, right, as a utility. They want that ability to kind of push you away when it's beneficial and then pull you back in when they need you, right? When they need the numbers, right? So that's what they want. So that's why they're definitely against you just affirming, well, I'm not like you people. I'm mulatto. I'm not like you. They're against that because they're like, oh, you're taking away influence from them, right? That's why they're heavily monitoring all your shit. Like all, my channel, my social media. It's funny because I'm over in like the Dominican spaces as well, Dominican people, and you got a bunch of like Black Americans are always in their spaces, all up in their shit. And I asked myself, well, what the hell's going on? Don't you guys got like a community to fix? Like, don't you guys got all these problems with gun violence and gangs and single parent households? Like, why the hell are you all up in Dominican business, other groups of people in their business when your guys' community is like the worst performing in the country? But you got all this time on your hands to be all up in like mixed people's business, mulattoes, and even Latinos. It's just, yeah. Yeah, beauty supply stores offer low quality goods, subpar service, and no reason to go there. The victim class for you, throwing rocks, hiding their hands. It's heating up because Kamala is in the spotlight. They want to claim her, but they can't. Yes, exactly. They want to claim her, but they can't because she's not a black. And she publicly told them like several years ago, I'm not going to just do nothing specifically for black people, right? But yet they're still going to like try to vote for her because they know damn well with Donald Trump, he's very bold telling them, you know. Yeah, I agree. You're better off going to the salon. My grandmother is Hapa, but she passed as white. She said black people gave her more respect and didn't try her. Interesting. Because she's white presenting, right? Yeah, because the blacks, they worship their white massa. So, and the blacks, not saying all, let me, make that clear, not absolutist, but in the United States of America, like if you guys are outside of the country, you're listening, let it be known that, yeah, in the United States, where you're dealing with the former enslaved population, they've, literally through the shame they have of being enslaved in this nation. So a lot of them, they suffer from severe self-hatred. They hate themselves. And so when they see a mixed person who's partially black, they see the black in that person and they hate right away because it's a reflection of them and they hate themselves. They hate their image. Not, like I said, I'm not saying all, but a lot of them, to understand the pathology. And so that's why they'll try to test and try the Creole or the light skinned person, right? The mixed mulatto, whatever. But if it's like a whole white person, or in this case, Hapa, um, yeah, then they're gonna have utmost respect. That's their massa. They want the approval of their white massa, right? You guys should already know the game. I mean, if you guys been listening to me for a minute, you should already know. They really hate that she married a white man. She declined their offer to be a baby mama. Hmm. One airline I avoid like the plague is Spirit. Even if I fly economy, I'll pay extra for Delta. Spirit Airlines is the Quain's airline. Where are they going though? Where are they going? Wonder where they're going. Maybe they gave her more respect because they knew she could get them closer to whites. Exactly. See, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it started to click, like I said, during 2019, kind of my epiphany moment in that year. So that's like what, 5 years ago. I started to click. I started to see just how they operate, in the work environment, at school, and all that, just how they operate in their neighborhoods and how they pedestalize whiteness. They worship whiteness. They cry like bitches on the internet about white supremacy and all this shit. But then when they turn off their little social media, they take their black ass right back to their white boss, their white manager, kissing their butt. So, I started to figure that out. And I was like, yeah, they love white folks when you get around them, right? They love white folks. Stay massa. Come on. How calm that mulatto girl was conducting herself lets me know she wasn't the aggressor, even when threatened. Yeah. And they invaded her space. One of them tried to like put their hand on her or something, right? And she told them very sternly, don't effing touch me, right? So they invaded her space too. Put here, they was claiming Vance was a racist also. I'm like, his wife is non-white and his kids are mixed. As well, excuse me, as we all see, the mulatto maintains decorum because she knows her worth. Exactly, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, she did the right thing. I mean, in that whole situation on full display, you guys saw the video. And yeah, I mean, the way she conducted herself is to be, applauded, with class and elegance, and just record the whole situation, be firm, and just walk the hell out of there. And hopefully it's a lesson to her. Don't go to places where there's large numbers of them. Don't, especially for mulatto. If you're white, you're safe because they love their white massa. But if you're mulatto, you got some African in you, you're half European, whatever. I mean, I already know. That's for me personally. But for some of you people, if you feel comfortable, okay, they thought it'll be a gotcha moment. Yeah. Most mulattoes are nonviolent until pushed to defend themselves. Yeah. A lot of these mulattoes act tough with whites, right? That's why you got all these pro-black mulattoes and shit. They're gonna fight white supremacy. They're on the front lines. A lot of these mulattoes act tough with whites, right? But then when the blacks get around, then oh man, you just don't understand. I'm just like you, dog. I got a white mama. My baby mama's black, but I'm just like you, right? Then they act like fucking marks, right? Because they trying to fit in, be good in the hood. Says, yeah, I'm so happy she didn't stoop to their hood rat level. Now with those hood rats, those creatures, imagine what their offspring, and if they got males, okay, you got some kind of Spotify or SoundCloud rappers or what, prison records and like all the statistics, right? When you analyze their behavior, those are grown adults, grown adult females. They act like little girls, but they're females, grown females. And that behavior just so primitive and savage like, and you wonder, okay, if they have kids, what the hell are the kids are doing? I think that it was a mom and a daughter, right? Because the mulatto woman said to the older woman, your daughter just called me a half breed, right? So that right that's she had a female kid, but the really aggressive female there, I wonder if she has a kid. And if she has a son, you know, got another criminal, carjacker, degenerate, SoundCloud rapper in that area. Let's just get the fuck away. Get away from them. Okay. Get away. That's my advice. I'd carry a weapon, guessing she's in a low income area if I were her. Yeah, exactly. I'm fucking armed. And I'm not in an area surrounded by them. I live on my block, both of the streets, they got cops. I am super pro cop. Yeah, I don't live next to those people. I was in Vegas, and for a short period of time, I was in a really shithole spot. It was like month to month, low income area. And I was only there for like a few months. And yeah, I was a black next door neighbor and shit, but a bunch of scummy people. I got the hell up out of there, man. Yeah, I slept next to my fucking pistol, man. Fuck that. I still kind of do today now, but I mean, I have peace of mind knowing my environment is completely different now. But yeah, you put the ones cackling and laughing sound like crows from Dumbo. Yeah, exactly. Or the hyenas in up in Lion King, right? The ankle monitor. I had a black woman in high school, and I'll admit she was pretty and thin, and she would make snide comments unprovoked. Biracials have been taking off in American society in the past 30 years, while Bantus are still stuck in the same place and even receding culturally. There's a source of the tension. Yeah, that's the source. That's a source of tension. Yeah. Yeah, like Sexy Red and the Baby and all that stuff. Yeah, that's their culture, right? Kendrick Lamar, dark skinned black, who's got a mixed chick as a baby mama, but Drake isn't like them, right? That's their culture. So yeah, where do we go from here? Let me just check out a few more comments and then get into this Kamala stuff. I would like to see average incomes and mulattoes were not included with the blacks and Latinos not included with immigrants. I bet both are further up on the food chain exactly because our numbers were locked in. And the reason why a lot of that is as well, we have to be aware is that a lot of these mulattoes are black identified. There was, I saw on TikTok this mulatto woman, biracial, okay, and she just became a nurse or she opened up a practice or something something in medicine, if I'm not mistaken. It was a while ago, but I remember. But she like presented herself as a black like business owner. It was actually one of the biracial dudes, shout out to him, biracial awareness, who kind of sent me the clip. And was like look at analyzing it, and it's like, yeah, she's not black, she's biracial, but she identifies as black. So when she opens up that business, I'm just using her as an example. I don't have the video or so you guys can see. I'm just, word of mouth, right? And clearly biracial lady, but she identifies as black. So like I'm saying, she's a business owner. I don't remember exactly. I apologize, guys, what business she had, but yeah, she's for sure accomplished, way more accomplished than me. I'm not talking shit about her. I'm just saying she identifies as black. So when we analyze the metrics, the stats, and they talk about black business, yeah, because they got a lot of these mulattoes who identify as black to increase their numbers, right? So in the law, that's going to change in the future, right? Regardless of Kamala, I'm not voting for her. It doesn't matter, Kamala. If it's Trump, like it's our numbers are growing substantially, so much so that it's just inevitably going to happen, that we are going to have these clear lines of distinction laid out. And even now, we already have applications where they allow you to check in and type in what you identify as. And let me see if I can find it, because I filled one out. the other day. Yeah, let me pull this up right now. Just found it where they asked me in some survey. I forgot where I found the application at, but let me pull it up for you guys right now. Here, you guys can see that. Let me get rid of the, because I think the comments blocking it. Oh shit. Yeah, you guys are lit in the chat. Damn, where the hell's that comment at? There we go. You guys can see that. What is your race or ethnic heritage? If appropriate, you may select more than one answer if this describes you best. I could have select what white and black African American, but they had an other. Please specify. I just typed in mulatto. You can also prefer not to say. But when they have this box here, they're letting you know, hey, what can you specify? What do you identify as? What is your race or ethnic heritage? Mulatto. Right? You guys see that? Plain and simple. They ask you, they're telling you, let them know. Yeah, this is how I identify. The whole point is you're going to see a lot more of this. They got Asian, white, black, or American Indian, Native American, Alaskan, Hispanic, right? You're going to find a lot more of this on more and more applications. This is not going to like stop. You're going to see a lot more. Okay. So I suspect that regardless, Trump or Kamala, whatever administrations come in. So yeah. Said Flavor Flav as a whole army of kids. Yeah. Said Flavor Flav is a pookie. He likes mulattoes and white women. The reason they said his name. Oh yeah. Well, it's typical with them though. They that's their preference, right? You said he watched that show in high school. Yeah, I think I'm a millennial. I don't know if you're a millennial, but that show, I remember it was on. It was what they call a shit show, right? It was like pretty stupid. I mean, I was a kid. I was in high school, so yeah, I had time, I guess, to watch it. But today, you wouldn't catch me watching that crap. Kardashians. That's like I put that in the same category as like Kardashians. I don't have time to watch that stuff. I was assuming they were with the skinny black male that we didn't see on camera. Yeah, because that's funny dynamic. Usually the women are gargantuous and obese and crap, but then they got some skinny black guy. You see that crap, right? It's such a funny dynamic. 300-pound whale walking in the beauty, Shaniqua in the beauty supply store. Then you see the skinny Jamal dude or whatever. He's currently living up in Paris playing water polo with the Olympic polo team. He doesn't have time for this mess. Yeah. Those women would house and feed a Flavor Flav and their kids EBT cards. Dang. Said he's banned on many platforms because black women were getting criticism. Yeah. But that's his whole niche, right? And he has a lot of black women who support him too. Because like I said, it doesn't matter. They're all on code. The Bantus work together to neutralize mulattoes. That's why I saw that dude put a comment there. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I study these savages. I'm not surprised at all. They all work together, all the Bantus, they team up, and they're under the direction of whites to neutralize mulattoes. Period. End of story. These black women who never get out of the hood or talk to different groups of people assume everyone who are white or lighter than them are automatically rich. Yeah, she assumed that lady's rich. I don't know. If she's in an establishment with those creatures, clearly she doesn't have a lot of coins in her pocket. Let's be real. Tommy, on one hand, will say biracials aren't black, yet on the other hand, he has said white girls make the best black girls. Yeah, because you see, he's a typical dark-skinned Bantu. Tommy Soto Moisture, because he will sympathize, like he put that comment, with the biracial woman. So he'll take the biracial woman's side. That's his preference, right? but he'll never cape or advocate for biracial men. So my job as a biracial man is to observe that, analyze it, and report it to the masses, at least the little audience I have here. Like that's I already know the game. Like I don't, there's like it's very obvious and clear as day, and that's how most of them operate. You have guys like a guy like shout out to Four Light who calls a spade a spade. He sees the pathology and he's mentioned that as well on his platform of how yeah you'll have guys like that Tommy Sotomayor who will he'll cape for the biracial women, but then he won't say shit when the biracial dude is getting clowned or whatever. So I already know what time it is. I don't know. Like, what else do I have to say? He's openly said he hated being black and dark skinned. Who's that, Tommy? Well, sucks for him because he's black and dark skinned. I don't know what the hell to tell him. Says Val, he got clowned on Twitter Space by white people. It was pretty funny. Tommy gets mad when Tariq calls him crispy, though. He let a black man call Meghan Markle some effing half-breed and called us that himself. Yeah, he talks shit about mixed people. That's what I'm saying. And he doesn't like Meghan Markle because I remember with these Bantus, whenever they started, they always defend biracial women, especially if most of her partners are like black males, like the kind of BBW lady from the beauty supply store. So yeah, of course, Tommy will defend her because a lot of her partners are black males. You just go on her ex and it's all there to see. But he won't defend Meghan Markle. Why is that? Meghan Markle prefers non-black men, right? So it's the same thing with like Doja Cat. I mentioned that in my last video. Like these mulatto women who don't choose the black males, those are the ones they feel like they can attack now because their little dark skin feelings are hurt because their mulatto preference doesn't prefer them, right? Tommy invited a panel of white conservatives to talk ish about a black man, believing they're his friends, and they all started making monkey noises at him, and it hurt his feelings. Yeah, right. Yeah, Tommy's a joke, man. I love how so many black women commenters on TikTok are acting shocked at the outburst as if they don't spew the same mess online behind closed doors. Yeah, they're trying to act stupid and play dumb. Like we all know you people now. I think what they're really upset about is now they realize we have a voice. Voices, plural. Because I'm one, there's multiple others, right? And yeah, a lot of us we're not going to get along, we're not going to be on the same page and all this stuff. That's fine, whatever. I'm just in my own lane doing my own thing. And yeah, they try to play dumb. Like we don't all see like we all have kind of been in similar situations, maybe not that extreme, but we've been there. We've seen we know how these people operate. When I was over in Dominican Republic, there was a case, and this was a Haitian guy, but he was Haitian American. I knew by the accent. And he'd said something. He said a slur. And guess what? I said a slur right back. And it was all a bunch of blacks. I don't give a fuck how many there are. And this is a foreign country too. What? And of course, he's bigger than me. I'm not a big guy, right? And so that's the type of time I'm on. I have to. I just have too much dignity and pride in myself as a man, where I'm not gonna let anybody else try to like punk me like that. And yeah, this guy, yeah, made a comment. And the whole time I was, throwing slurs around. Am I proud of it? Do I want to do that? It is what it is. That's what I can say. Okay, I deal with savages accordingly, how it needs to be dealt with. That's all. That's just me. I'll be the bad guy, but fuck it, you're not punking me out here. That's all I can say about that. Well, her market can be other mixed race people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I've been hearing that type of talk since elementary school. Shout out to you, Michael, in Louisiana. Other Indian women in that cooking video was Mindy. Yeah, Cowling. I don't know. Yeah, the cooking video with Kamala Harris and the Indian woman. Yeah, yeah. It would be refreshing if mixed people sought to market to other mixed people. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm doing here. You look at the audience, you look at the chat, you look at the ratio. It's mostly mulattoes, mostly mixed people, right? This is how I've developed and designed this entire operation to curate it. No fake bullshit. Because when I first heard of the mix like spaces on YouTube, and I started to notice that like the larger channels that had a larger viewership per live stream and stuff like that. I'm looking at the comments. I'm like, there's a bunch of black dudes up in the comments from the fucking Black Manosphere. I was like, these are just Black Manosphere channels, and they got a couple biracials, as the channel host. And I'm sitting here like, this is not a fucking mixed or biracial channel. Give me a break. Like, what type of shit is this? Like, when I first found these kind of channels, I noticed that with a lot of them, a few of them. I was sitting here like, what the fuck is this, like Black Manosphere? Like, you know, how is it like, how are you marketing your quote unquote biracial videos? And you got nothing but fucking black dudes in your chat. That doesn't make sense like to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, what? Like, but yeah, then you look at my channel, you look at my videos, you look at my chat, you examine the comments. You got Mulatta from UK, Mulatto here, Creole there. I got South African colored over here. Like, you see us everywhere, right? And I'm actually very happy about that. That people have found me and that they actually enjoy they want to listen to what I have to say. It says Tommy, many blacks, but not all, have been jealous of mulattoes since slavery days. Oh, you're talking to Macaroni Tony. Yeah. Macaroni Tony. Many blacks, not all, but have been jealous of mulattoes since slavery days. Yeah. It's very apparent. I mean, that whole situation right there with the crazy beast in the beauty supply store calling her a half breed, mulatto, pink cave, and all this stuff. Like, clearly, okay, black female, older black female, jealous of the younger black mulatto lady. Clearly, right? And like I said, that the lady, the mulatto lady, she's a content creator slash model. Okay, she does explicit content, but that's she's a model. You go on her page, that's what it is. And so yeah, so that's a woman who's basically like confident in her sexuality in the extent to where her handle, her @ handle said like your fave fatty, I think. So she uses that as like a prideful thing that she's voluptuous, right? And so that's already somebody who's confident in themselves. And so, but she kind of walked into the jungle in that beauty supply store. So it says, well, the problem is there really isn't other content creators that openly say they're mulatto. You, sir, are very unique. And I approve. Yes, we're mulattoes or mixed. Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of the mulattoes just want to basically adhere to black sensibilities. They know black people are going to get upset if they identify as, say, they're mulatto. So they'll use other innocuous terms like mixed or biracial to make it so black people don't get their little feelings hurt, because they want the black audience. They know because there's more numbers there. I mean, that's what I'm not going to name the channel names, but there's a channel. There's multiple channels that I started out like mixed, multiracial, biracial, like a couple years ago when I found their channels. The channels that grew super large, well, as far as the sub count, I mean, you know, they they switched it up. They're basically catering to blacks now. I mean, because they want those numbers. I guess to them it's more about a grift in making a living off of YouTube versus developing a community in a space. For me, this whole function is just to have the community, have a think tank. We can exchange ideas, brainstorm, and you're in a place where you belong. You feel you belong. Because we've never really had that for a minute. A lot of us just thought we could just maybe try harder to fit in, with this group or that group. And then we realize, well, shit, you just come over here, you fit right in. Shit. Just be a decent person, have some principle. This is for you. It doesn't matter what color t-shirt you have on either. I cater this message specifically, unapologetically to mulattoes, but It's a public platform, right? A lot of people listen. So it says, so true. I got it damn near my whole life. Okay, let me see. Just pick a few more and then move on to this Kamala stuff. I only drink beer and wine, but beer is refreshing. Yeah. You put I don't smoke, but I would mind trying one of those Dominican cigars. Yeah, I didn't try any out there. I can't handle cigars or even cigarettes. When I was in Puerto Rico, I did smoke some weed. They had like a medical, or I was it medical marijuana. I think it was just medicinal or whatever. They had a marijuana shop there. I could smell on the street. I was over in old San Juan, and I just walked in there and I was like, well, I'm from California. It's recreational. We just buy it. I don't have my medical card. And she said, the lady who the store is like, oh, you don't need a card. You can just buy it. The weed wasn't the best quality though either. I just bought the pre-roll joints, but I think I paid like $50 for like 5 grams. So it was like $10 a gram. And it wasn't really good quality, honestly. Right. I'm from California, so we have a lot of pride. And the herb that we smoke out there is like the best top quality, right? The shit in Amsterdam was like nothing. Because when I was in Amsterdam last year, I smoked some of their stuff and I was not like right impressed at all. I was like, ugh, compared to California, it's like, yeah. So yeah, and San Juan, I did smoke some herb. And since I don't smoke every day. It was just a rare occasion since I was over there. It's like, fuck it, why not? I did I got high from it for sure. But now I'm back home. I don't plan on smoking. It's just if I'm doing something fun, I'm out or whatever. Like I was in a whole new country. So, but yeah, the cigars is too much, man. Or the tobacco, the cigarettes, whatever. I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. Can't handle it. That's what Joe Curry says. He just smokes herb. Yeah. Soda really does cause weight gain. Yeah. All the sugar, right? And that soda, the calories and sugar, liquid calories. Yeah. Energy drinks, a lot of calories in beer. That's like my main vice. It's always a liquid calories that catches you. Just drink water. Yeah. Easier said than done. But yeah. You put I'm fat. You said you're 185, 5'10". I know I need to lose another 30, 20 pounds. Seems like a lot of us over on this channel got some poundage to shed. I guess we can kind of be the fat club then. How does that sound, guys? We could be the fat mulattoes over here. You guys can clip that, tag me in that, share that. Because it's beautiful because like it's gonna be a fitness journey. We can all hold each other accountable, track each other, and make sure hey, did you do your jog today? Did you do your yoga today? Did you go to the gym today? Right? We can improve. Is a beautiful thing. That's like community. We can improve. I have a whole nother channel where like I'm gonna put my travel content up there. I just shared the stuff here because I want to keep you guys in the loop to let you know what I'm doing. But my other channel, I'm focusing my travel stuff there, but also my fitness stuff there. But it's kind of hard sometimes when I'm trying to get my fitness, my sweat going on to like put a camera out and record me and like I'm in the zone doing my workout stuff. We're starting a mulatto weight loss group. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like that's a good thing though, right? That's something positive. I used to live in the hood because I got a black mama. I've been to those stores before, but this was like 2006. There was a white dude in the video. How'd I miss that? Yeah, he was all the way in the corner, right? Let me see. I screenshotted it and let me see if I can pull it up right now. Yeah, I screenshotted it and I shared it on my community wall. You can see it right here. You can see the arrow is pointing. There's like a white dude there. See that? He's looking at them, right? This bald white guy. Yeah. Interesting, huh? So it looks like he's like the security staff or something there. Okay, yeah, my computer is tripping. I actually got to buy a new one because this has been happening last couple streams, or just clean up my computer. Something's tripping. It says Tres Lindas Cubanas, a cigars called La Mulatta, owned by Mulatta sisters and rolled by mulattoes. They come as trio of Blanca, Mulatta, or Negro. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I don't smoke, like I said, the cigars, but that's pretty interesting. Thanks for sharing that. You put white men know black women hate us. I saw them talking about it on TikTok. A white man was telling a mulatto she shouldn't defend black women because they hate us. Everyone sees, yeah, everyone sees it. You got like Celine in the chat, white lady. Like everyone pretty much can see what's going on now. And even like I said, there's like an agreement too with the black males and white males where they know the mulatto males will overcompensate and hate on white people extra more than the black male to try to fit in to the black males group and be in good standing with the black males. Right. So, like everyone sees it now, except for these mulattoes who think that they're so like pro-black or they're from the hood, and that we don't all see like what's going on, bro. We all see it, which is why I never experienced this level of hostility when I was in a black community from black women. They're entitled to racism towards mulattoes now. Yeah, until you basically push it back on them, then they say you're anti-black, you're white supremacist. Okay, kiss my ass. Then what are you gonna do about it? They're gonna go cry to white people. Or they'll result to savagery, which is their natural primitive inclination, and then they can't play the victim card anymore, right? Because they want to try to do both. They want to be the savage, and then they want to the aggressor, and then they want to be the victim, right? That's not how the world works. You can't be both. I've heard some bad stories from boomers who experience racism, yet Gen Z blacks' most racist experience has been a rude Starbucks worker. Oh yeah, a Starbucks worker told them to get out the store, or they called the cops on them or something. That's the worst. Yeah. BLM taught young black people to be hateful, entitled, and victimized on another level than previous black generation, American generations. Yeah, just get the hell away from them. That's for me the solution. You don't have to hate. You can laugh because they do it to you. They laugh at you. You can laugh at them, okay, and observe them from the side, right? Like you're on a safari. Just you stay in the Jeep, okay. Make sure you have your weapon next to you and just observe and kind of, laugh and then just drive and get the hell out of there. That's my opinion. The more you study the psychology of these Bantus, the more you realize they all have the same behavioral patterns. And the thing is, they work in codes. Tommy Sotomayor, okay, he is on code with the dark-skinned Bantu females, okay, against the mulatto males. They are on code. And they try to come over here and play this gender game. You see how Tommy was in the comment section, like, oh, the black women, they really don't like them. A lot of women. Yeah, we all know that. But he's not going to talk about, and there were other black males who put the comments in there too. I'm not going to pull up that whole thread again. I'll share it in the description so you guys can go check it out. But I saw there was another comment where there's a black guy who's like, oh yeah, black women are jealous of you mixed women. And then a black woman who replied to the guy's comment was like, yeah, but you guys are jealous of like mixed men, right? And then of course they'll try to act stupid and play dumb and be like, oh no, man, light skins and dark skins, we all good. Fuck out of here, ho. See how they try to play dumb, but their gender war stuff, I tell the mulattoes, man, don't even play games with their gender war bullshit. Don't. And then some of these mulattoes, they want to make content out of it. Okay, whatever. You do you. But for the serious mulattoes who want like a sense of community, cohesion, they want to be around other people and feel they want that sense of community, just avoid their black gender war bullshit. Just avoid it. Don't take any sides. They're not us. They're not our people. They're not one of us. It's not our business, period. Let them fix their own shithole community. Remember that drama Tommy was in with Ice-T, called him a mutt and talked shit about his white wife. Yeah, Tommy's no friend to the mulatto. So whenever I see a mulatto woman, okay, who basically because there's a few of them. Man, let me see. They support me. I mean, they like me. These women, but you know, there's a couple of them I've seen. They've associated with Tommy, or they've like defended a position he's had or something, and it's just, yeah, Tommy's no friend of mine. Period. Never liked him. He's a cockroach. I don't respect him. Period. Renata, to them, budgeting is probably racist. Says, yeah, I'm a millennial. Yeah, 33. Yeah, I'm like, I'm around your age. Yep, millennial. Bantus are bound by tribalism. Yeah. You put, yeah, Joe Curry referring to 8050 to 1920 census. Yeah. Okay, let's see. We can get back into the Kamala talk. Absolute worst, paying off their debt. Social media and see addition. Yeah, new sneakers, blunt wraps. They go to seafood restaurants. They got all the money to give to their Chinese, buddies, but they don't have money to pay off the debt. Yeah, typical. Okay, let's see. Kamala Harris, like I said, in the whole name of the stream is mulattoes are being attacked and scapegoated. What can we learn from this? Okay, so learning lesson. But as you saw on the screen, you saw Kamala Harris as well. You saw Kamala Harris, and this is only the beginning. I wanted to mainly talk about the beauty supply store situation, right? Because it's kind of a new hot topic to talk about. But there's going to be more developing news coming out with Kamala Harris because she's the runner-up right now, right? And but I saw this and I shared it on my X. This guy says, we have no friends by any means necessary. He has a picture of John Henry Clark. He's a well-respected Afrocentric and academic in their circles. RBG Nation, which is red, black, green, it's Pan-Africanism, right? And this is another anti-mulatto, John Henry Clark. He refers to us as bastards, mulatto bastards, right? When nobody is more bastards than these black Americans, right? I mean, it's like a whole group of bastards. Over 70+% out of wedlock birth rate, illegitimacy rate. Like, and then they do that with the mulattoes. They try to bastardize whites and bastardize Hispanics and other groups, right? But I'm saying that in reference to him because he literally, this guy, the avatar image, this old black guy, his name is John Henry Clark. He publicly referred to us as bastards. And he pushes the whole Chancellor Williams conspiracy theories that mulattoes are being used by white society to undermine black progress, right? So it's incredibly important to understand that. So when you deal with these creatures, you know that they're looking at you as a opposition, and they're using Kamala, but they'll use anybody when it's convenient. So it says right here, he shared this like kind of meme. She's trying too hard and y'all are eating it up. She's putting hot sauce on her chicken. Remember I told you guys, you just put your hot sauce on your chicken. Could be down with the hood, you dig? Put your hot sauce on your chicken. You got your collard greens. Girl. You go, girl. Right? And there's a lot of other blacks arguing with him. I don't even care. And a guy here says, I don't care. I'm voting for her. Baltimore, Nigerian flag, right? He says, do you? Right? Yeah, it's her, Kamala's wife. Okay, where I gotta get to the part. Okay, so it's them that are confused, remember. Like a lot the racist blacks will say, oh, you mulattoes are confused, you don't know where you fit in or how you identify. Nobody's more confused with them because they'll say we're black today if they want to use us for numbers because their numbers are lowering. And also their black immigrants are coming in who don't identify with the former slaves. So they're losing political influence, right? Where people will appear to look like them black, but they're Nigerian or Jamaican. They're not going to be politically on the same page as them. As a matter of fact, those black immigrants are going to more identify with us, okay, than they are with a lot of the former slaves, right? So there's that. And so they want to claim the mulattoes when it's convenient because they want the numbers, but then they come on a comment section, a thread like this, and they're like, oh, you're not black. Like Hindu Irish, no black. 100% race playing liar. Only black in her was Willie Brown. So they pick and choose, like they're the only ones who are confused. They pick and choose when to claim someone as black when it benefits them. This is what you see all through this comment section. Way too hard. LOL, but Kendrick said it best. What did Kendrick say? They not like us. Because you have to understand that not like us is a code and dog whistle for the racist blacks to outgroup the mulattoes. But they're not going to be as bold as they'd like to, because then it'll wake up the mulattoes. Then they're going to realize, oh shit, I got to go somewhere and figure something out. So they want to hoodwink and trick you mulattoes to think you're still a part of their group. They think they're sneaky and crafty, but I've already examined these savages. I already know what time it is. Like, way too hard. Kendrick said it big. What did Kendrick say? He's got a mixed race wife. What did he say? They not like us. Oh, wait a second. I thought Not Like Us was talking about Drake because he's from Canada. But so is it because he's mixed or right? See, it's a dog whistle. Not Like Us. It's basically they're winking and nodding to the other blacks to say, oh yeah, the mixed people, they're not dark skins, they're not like us, right? See, they all get it. They except for the mulattoes. The ones who still think that they're down with the hood, You hurt my feelings, you're anti-black. Okay, well, kiss my ass then, bitch. Fuck you. Yeah. Okay, let me get to the part where I found something where in reference to us mulattoes, okay? Because like I said, they're confused. They're gonna say that she's Indian today, then tomorrow they're gonna say she's black. We can't let Trump win. You know, we cannot let Trump win. Let's see. Let me pull up my profile here and get right to it. Okay, perfect. Apologize. Let me share that right now for you guys. Surprised you guys are still with me this late at night. You guys like the content? Hit the like button. You guys like the live? Hit the like button. I got 22 likes, 30 people watching. So yeah, the like ratio is pretty good. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to you. Check this out. So I didn't want to scroll down through all the guys' mentions. It's the same post where you saw like Kamala putting her hot sauce on the chicken, right? And I saw that he put here, she's garbage. Anyone backing this colonizer is garbage. Mulattoes are not like us. Shake my head. You guys see that? Mulattoes, and I put here, mulattoes are not like you savages. It's a blessing to not be like you. But you guys see this right here. And the distinction's important. They're letting you know you're not a black like them, right? And this is the Kendrick effect. The Kendrick Lamar with his mixed race wife, right? He doesn't like the mixed race males, just like Tommy, Soto Moisture, same savage, same situation, another Bantu. They don't like the mixed race males, but they like the mixed race women. You guys see a pattern with these savages? You see where he puts here, she's garbage. Anyone backing this colonizer, right? That's a code word, right? Is garbage. Mulattoes are not like us. Not like us. Well, wait a second. I thought not like us was because of the Canadian guy, Drake. I thought it's because he was raised in a white neighborhood with his white mom in Canada. But Kamala Harris has an Indian mom. She doesn't have a white mom. She has an Indian mom, and she is from what, like Oakland area or something. She went to Howard in DC University. Like, so what's the deal? I don't understand the connection. A politician, Kamala, who's a prosecutor or district attorney, versus Drake, who's like an entertainer, rapper. Like, what's the connection here? They're not fully black. They're mixed, right? Everyone gets it. Everyone understands it, except for the mixed people who identify as black. And trust me, because I see a lot of them over on TikTok. Okay, that's where I see, I think, most of them, especially if they're like my Z's, right? And like their whole identity is caping for blacks to fit in. And Yeah, and they're letting you know right in your face. Yeah, not like us, right? They're scapegoating you. And like I said, when you go to the post, it's like they can't decide if they're black or, if the mulattoes or Kamala's black. Is she Indian? What the hell is she? Like, she didn't use hot sauce during her time at Howard. I content she more like us than some of us are like us. Stop the madness. No more division. Here's a black dude, right? Says stop the madness. He's saying she's more like us. And then this guy with the racist John Henry Clark, Afrocentric, black supremacists, they spread the anti-mulatto conspiracies, right? They were kings and queens in Egypt and Kemet, but the mulattoes came and ruined it for them. This is one of these black racists, right? Anti-mulatto. That's his profile picture. And he's saying right here, oh no, she's garbage. Anyone backing his colonizers, garbage mulattoes. They're not like us, right? Not like us. And he says, what is Trump? Oh, wait. He says, garbage. One thing, though. Trump, he out front, loud, unapologetic racist. Better to see them coming, you think, right? And he puts here, how is she mulatto? She's not. Her father's mulatto, Jamaican. And he puts here, so you've been that far off the grid? You're not specifying. Isn't she black and Indian? Not her father's mulatto, her mom's Indian. A mulatto is European African. Asian and African is Blasian. They already have a whole definition criteria. But you see, these individuals, they try to basically muddy the waters and they scapegoat and use the mulattoes. And I told you, because it all makes sense when you look at his profile picture. He's got John Henry Clark there. Okay. He's got John Henry Clark there, is, red, black, and green, RBG Nation, Pan Africanism, right? And this is black supremacy. And they look at mulattoes as their enemy because, according to them, historically, they feel mulattoes have undermined them in their progress. They feel like they would be the rulers of the earth. They'd have, crab leg restaurants and, Swisher sweet spots on every corner. They'd be the kings of the earth if it wasn't for the mulattoes. This is literally what they think. They scapegoat. That's why I put in the title how the mulattoes are getting scapegoated, because they use us as a scapegoat for their failures and for why they can't perform in society. Right? These racist Afrocentrics like this guy. So I saw this and I was just, I had to reply. I had to reply. Puts here, whether or not she mulatto don't matter. What the F? The Democrats in office today only want to make things sound good. For instance, lowering the price of important and expensive medicine. How? You can just snap and make it cheaper, but that's what they'll do. Yeah. Says, so you and every black person are the same? You really believe this? Because if so, you need to stop killing your own kind. They can't do that, though. They can do everything else. Blame the mulatto, cry about white people, but they can't stop hurting their own. He comes to do master's bidding. That's funny. He put here, I'm garbage then, is Denzel Washington as the avatar. Yeah. A lot of black people are Democrats, man. Like, to me, just talking politics with them on that level, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Whatever. Like, they're already kind of set. They're going to support Democrats regardless. So whatever. But that was just a racist black Afrocentric who was using the opportunity to slander a mixed woman who's not even mulatto, but they'll still label her as a mulatto, right? As I put scapegoat. You got mulattas being attacked and being identified as mulatta, which is good, in the beauty supply store, but they're calling her other names too, Cave and Pink and Half Breed and that stuff, right? And then you see Tommy Soto Moisture come to the rescue in the comment section, but he's another savage who refers to mulattoes as half breeds. So it's like, bro, we've already seen you out here on the internet, bro. And what can we learn from this? Cohesion. Okay, that's a term I've always been using from the beginning here. Cohesion. You need cohesion. That is your protection and defense. Okay, yeah, shout out to you for that. I remember that. Yeah. Left off here. You guys want me to drop the link? It's getting kind of late though. I'm like 2 hours into this. I think I could drop the link for a minute, and or I'll be up here for a minute, and then I got to get the hell out of here. It says, yeah, I see black men and white men talking about supporting each other by keeping their bloodlines pure. Yeah, you see, they're on the same page. We got to keep each other's bloodline pure. And it's like what they're saying is they still want to have access to other groups of women, but they don't want to create mixed offsprings, is what. But it's all pipe dream. They're fooling themselves. There's no reversing. There's a guy, he says, irreversible hybridization, the amalgamation, right? The hybridization, it's irreversible. There's too many of us now. There's enough of us now we can replicate with each other, right? I mean, that's the goal for me. And I'm not like the golden pookie. I'm not going to run to the DR to do it. There's too many other options. Shout out to No More Rodriguez. He puts here, the mulatto flag kind of looks like the black and white versions. Yeah, of the Dominican flag. It is actually. The mulatto flag was basically the inspiration was from the Dominican flag. It was the gentleman Richard Warbird Miller. His inspiration for the mulatto flag came by way of the Dominican flag, right? So it's the exact same flag, just change the colors and doesn't have the coat of arms on the flag. Like a Dominican flag has like the Bible on it, etc. So yeah. It's basically the same exact flag except different colors. I wonder why Kamala feels the need to flip flop her identity. Older generation, generational nuance. Um, you deal with mixed people during that older generation. They didn't really have a space like we do now. The younger people, like a guy like me, it was a no-brainer. I was kind of forced to. I looked around and I kind of saw mixed people doing their thing, but I was like, you know what? I don't really like what they're doing. I want to do something in a different direction. So I just realized I got to kind of build my shit, you know? And I feel like in her day, they didn't have the internet, right? And Kamala, when she was in, going to college or school, whatever, in the 80s or 90s, whatever. So that older generation, they didn't really have the same tools that we have today to connect with people. So they just kind of just fit in. They found some blacks who were nice or whatever, just kind of fit in with the blacks, right? And I realized today, these younger people, we don't have to. I see these mulattoes on TikTok and stuff. Like, we don't have to fit in with these blacks. We just do our own shit. Doesn't make sense. When I look at old people, I look at that disconnect because they kind of just were fixed in to the black group. It says the opposing book of Chancellor Williams is The Fall of Civilizations by Paul Cooper, as it explored the mulatto lives. Interesting. Good. Yeah. I gotta check that out. Paul Cooper. The Democrats told her to snap up those free votes from blacks. Yeah, they're gonna vote Democrat. They have a slogan. They say vote blue no matter who. Literally. Like a bunch of drones just supporting the Democrats, right? Vote blue no matter who. That's crazy. Everybody has hot sauce on their table, but because she is a mixed race woman, is using hot sauce, it's a spectacle. Yeah, I know. People put hot sauce on their fish and chicken and everything, right? On some people put it on their pizza. So it's a spectacle, yeah. Because they're questioning her authenticity, right? If you're a mixed person, you gotta own it, man. Whatever your kind of configuration is, like with her, I would say she's more so Belindian because she's 50% Indian and her father's mulatto Jamaican. Maybe her father's just black identified, whatever. She doesn't have a good connection with her father. But if I was her, I would just say she's Blindian. Like there are Blindian people who are black and Indian. Like you have Blasian, you have Blindian. You literally have these type of configurations out here. Like you got Hapa, you have mulatto, you have Afro Latinos. Like you have these different type of variations. So like I said, maybe it wasn't a reality when she was younger, kind of coming of age. But today, now you talk to younger people, like we're already out here. We're already out here making a name for ourselves. So yeah, they only talk about that hot sauce and the questioning her identity and shit. They only pull that shit with mixed people, man. And it's up to you, mixed people, to get the clue. Like I'm just doing my part, my little social media. What the hell? I'm not special, but damn it, I don't see anybody else out here doing anything like this, so I gotta do it. Blacks only vote Democrat. Majority of them, yeah, like 80+% for sure. Blacks are mixed with Bantu, Cochin, Pygmy, and mulattoes are adjacent to them, so they added easy African. Oh, come on. Do whites need us mulattoes against blacks? They can keep feeding them trash TV and producing rappers who promote negative lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah, like the whites don't need us for blacks, but that's the conspiracies the blacks push. Is the white man uses the mulatto to undermine the blacks. And that's what Kamala Harris is. See, they're gonna push the same shit they did with Obama. Like I said, they've been putting their propaganda out there they've had a head start for over a decade. We've all listened. A lot of you guys, you listen to me. We've listened to them. We've analyzed their material. They've been pushing this crap for years now. But now we got the microphone now. Now we're pushing back. So now they're going to have to regroup their strategy because remember, they still need you to be a subordinate class underneath them. Because what they're ultimately afraid of is once you branch off and break away from their influence, you have your own group, your own situation, you will outperform them. Other groups will take you seriously. Other groups will invest in you, right? You'll find other outside nations and other communities who will develop partnerships with you, invest with you, and you're going to grow and build. And you'll have functional families, functional communities, and blacks are going to be stuck. And that's what they're ultimately afraid of. When they saw what happened in this country with the Creole communities and mulatto communities, they're afraid that that will be replicated and happen again today. You'll have these mixed race communities that are independent from Blackistan. So they definitely don't want you to go. They want you to accept the abuse. They want to keep you next to them so they can use you when it benefits them, but they want you to accept the abuse. They're having a hard time in their situation. Yeah, your approach is funny. I mean, I use them for content, but if I'm not like if I'm doing YouTube or whatever, I'm at the gym or whatever I'm doing, I don't even yeah. Yeah, I think I'll drop the link. They're not going to live by that song. Half the people singing it are white. They had Kamala on the BET Awards. They're claiming they need to delineate from Kamala though. Yeah. They claim they're not like us, but they still need all these mixed people like Kamala, right? They know damn well there's no black candidate that the majority of society would even accept. What, Candace Owens? Who, Van Jones? Who, Ayanna Presley? Like, what black candidate are they going to put out there that no one's going to vote for them? At least Kamala has a shot. She's, not likable. I feel like a lot of people don't. She's more likable than Hillary Clinton, in my opinion. Hillary Clinton was so unlikable. Plus, Hillary Clinton seemed pretty kind of obnoxious. Like she just deserved to be president because her husband was president. That's kind of how I felt like with Hillary. She kind of seemed like she seemed kind of obnoxious, but I don't know. Like, let's see. Black women need to stop saying that phrase. Won't want them saying we aren't black because they're men to stray more. Yeah. They only want to separate when us mixies keep our wins, victories for ourselves. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Those Afrocentrics always dump their issues on mulattoes. Yeah, we're the scapegoats. That's why I named the stream Mulattoes Are Being Attacked, like you saw in the beauty supply store. And we're also being scapegoated with this. And I'm using this as a beginning kind of case study example with this Kamala Harris situation. Because this is only the beginning. you're going to see a lot more commentary and stuff going on where they're really going to ramp it up, their kind of black nationalist conspiracies. Because yeah, they always scapegoat mulattoes. Always. It's going to be the same playbook they did with Barack Obama. They're going to be like, oh, the mulatto acts like they're black to get in good with the blacks. And then they get into power and they do nothing for blacks. They serve white supremacy. That it's going to be coming. They're going to have a lot of these tweets and posts and stuff like that. Yeah, called her Kamala a colonizer. Yeah. Yeah, she's an Indian colonizer. Who is she colonizing? The blacks or what? Art of Dialogue on YouTube did an interview with Judge Joe, and he claims her dad is a mulatto but Brahmin. Yeah. Yeah, so she has two Indian parents. Yeah, I don't know. Her dad looks mulatto. Her dad is could be mixed. I don't know, to be honest with you. I didn't really look thoroughly into it, to be 100% with you, but she's more Indian than anything. Okay. So I don't know why the hell she's like dancing around with blacks trying to get their support. I don't get it. That's like a hustling backwards. They mostly attack mixed people of Euro ancestry. Yes, yes. And as you saw in the clip, especially if your mom is white, if you have a white mom and a black father, you're gonna be the black communita is really not gonna like you. If you're a female, a biracial female, yeah, the males will like you, right? Like the Tommy Sotomayor's and stuff like that, Kendrick Lamar. But the males, if you're a biracial male, then the males, they're not really gonna like you, right? Wait, white men want access to other groups of women too? Of course. And they usually get it. I saw that in Santo Domingo where you had literally white guys. Okay, they weren't brown skinned Dominican dudes or whatever. They're white guys in Santo Domingo, and I saw they had their Haitian partner there and their biracial kid. I saw that, and you see it in the reverse as well. You'll see a black guy. I saw in Santo Domingo a few days ago, Dominican Republic, where you'll have like a black guy with a, I don't know, either Dominican woman or a white woman, and they have a mixed kid. But I saw a lot of the reverse too, man. White guy, white male with a like a dark skin, like African, a Haitian, a partner, and they have mixed kids. So yeah, they want access to other groups of women all over the place in Asia and Caribbean, in the Latin America, what you name it. That even here in the United States, same thing. I saw it in Europe last year when I went to Western Europe. So yeah, said race scavengers. Interesting, yeah. If they really care about their children, they'd want them to have genetic diversity. I mean, full blacks or full whites, list of health problems do that. Black and Indian mixed are common. Trinidad, yeah, exactly. They're called dogla. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. Yeah, good point. Yeah, black and Indian mixed people is very common in the Caribbean nations. You're right. Exactly. Yep, good point. What's black people's obsession, specifically black and white mix? Yeah. What's black people obsession with people that have some black ancestry? They hate themselves. They want to weaponize the one drop rule because they feel like because they're more black than you, they can use that as some type of like leverage to be like, well, you got to prove you're black, authentically black like me to be cool with me or something like that. I'm like, fuck, I'm getting the fuck away from you. I'm not dealing with you. You have no influence or power over here. Fuck that. Their outgrouping agenda is dangerous to mulattoes as the consequences would lead to bullying and dignity loss and ultimately loss of racial integrity. Mixed people with white blood give them proximity to white communities. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Mixed race people do have health issues, Val. If a mixed race person gets bone cancer, they are goners. Yeah, unless they can get a donor who is also mixed of their configuration, right? That can be tricky sometimes. Your own household is in on this also. They are serving Blackistan. Damn. Let me drop the link. I got a bunch of you people up in here. I know someone wants to hop up here, so let me drop this link. Like I said, guys, I'm only gonna be here for a minute. I gotta go to work early, so it's already late. But the link is dropped. So I heard nothing about Kamala until after Biden dropped out. Yeah, because she was just the VP, right? There was this black person on YouTube who said that she feels like Obama will be president again. What the hell? A third term president? They don't own our black DNA. Yeah. Thing is, you got to prove, yeah, and Jezebel says it right here. Prove your blackness. This is literally, they have that mindset. I'm like, I don't have to deal with you. Look, I'm not going to deal with them. Okay. Yo, what up? You're live.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep, your audio's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What was the topic of discussion that you just left off with?
Yeah, I mean, the proving your blackness thing, but I was just reading the comments, right? The main thing was that how mulattoes are literally scapegoated. And I used the example of how, like with Kamala Harris, how she's not even technically a mulatto. She's not mulatto. Like, she doesn't have enough European genetic ancestry. She's mostly Indian, which is like South Asian, right? And so, like, but they're still using the mulatto term and label on her because she's mixed. It's almost like because mulatto has been the most prominent, I guess you can say, mixed race category historically speaking. So a lot of the Afrocentrics will just use mulatto, like, and falsely label people mulatto who aren't even mulatto, like in Kamala's case. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to add to that actually. Um, with the Kamala Harris, she's a woman, right? And I've just checked recent videos with dark skinned Bantu folk making videos on Kamala Harris, and already they're sexualizing her, talking about past, talking about things she may have done, stripping and all of that type of stuff, being an old hoe. And yeah, what I've seen, what I observe is anyone, even though they would re- be remotely white or non-black, as long as they hear a history about her having some form of adjacent mulatto or black person, right? That person is done for. Like the whole black community is gonna go ahead and completely destroy or basically try and claim her, basically try to completely sabotage her whole image and use it for their own gain. The whole situation with Kamala Harris, from my perspective, right, is they're trying to use her for their own agenda, for their own audience, right? Basically, Kamala Harris is some form of like opposition, right? And since she's a woman, they're gonna attack her image, and then the rest are gonna go in, and it's kind of like the whole they're not like us type thing. This is what I observe at least. So it's kind of like a target practice. This is what I observe because the videos is old, the same ideology, the same agenda, right? And these people, they read that Bible of theirs, the black, the destruction of black civilization, like they praying every day, right? So it's like, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, that's their hate manuscript. The Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. That's their go-to book. And what it does is it gives them basically legitimacy. They feel legitimate in their grievances, in their jealousy. They gives them justification or jealousy to attack mixed people. And like you said, it's as a scapegoat. They need a scapegoat for why they're failing in society, and they're not competing compared to other groups. So the mulatto is a convenient scapegoat for them. and they're just using Kamala as a proxy. And I was telling people with the whole Drake situation, they're just using Drake as a proxy. And it's interesting you see this crossover, how the same type of vernacular what Kendrick used, I call it the Kendrick effect. They're using Not Like Us for Drake. Now they're saying that about Kamala Harris. But remember, the same blacks who are tricksters, okay, and frauds, they're trying to tell you, Not Like Us is not because Drake is biracial. Not Like Us is because Drake is a Canadian from another country, right? So they're doing that trickery crap. But
Yeah.
I got Bunny. Yep.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Vanguard.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for hopping up on the panel.
Yeah, absolutely. Been a long time listener, and I'm just super excited to be up here. So yeah.
It's an honor to have you here.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I heard the topic of your stream, and I was like, oh my gosh, he read my mind. I was on YouTube earlier, and I came across this one guy's content, and he was saying how he thinks Kamala is, going to start the gender war in the community. And I just about spit out my coffee. I was like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I mean, so yeah, like, I mean, I was shocked. I'm like, do they all think we've been like living under a rock or something? Like, I mean, the things that they try to pull and get away with is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, that makes absolutely no sense that on that individual's argument about the gender war, like Kamala Harris is a married woman. She has a partner. So like I don't understand like how it's her fault that black males and black females can't get along with each other and create families. They're trying to make the argument that she like locked up black males. No, she didn't round up anyone and lock them up. The black males were committing crimes and they put themselves in a situation to where they had to serve some time. And then I think Kamala, they're saying she kind of took advantage of that for non-violent offenders. There's a lot going on there, but they're going to use her as a scapegoat, which they always do with mulattoes, men and women. Once we get into prominence in our influence and power in society, they're going to point the fingers at us. Because remember, with Drake, they're pointing the fingers at Drake, trying to say he took advantage of these rappers and he tried to pretend to be cool with people and stole their style and stole their songs, right? And he trying to say he benefited from them. It's the same playbook. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was like shocked to even really see Kamala as a candidate, to be honest. It was just kind of came out of the blue the way that got fabricated. But I it's kind of like, she married, she's got a white husband, right? So it's kind of like you still have the black women that want to vote for her, and the black guys don't, because they look at her, I guess, as like a traitor and stuff like that. So there's like, so just right, like it's inflammatory for sure, but to like say that she is starting their gender war, I mean, that's when, like, I mean, scapegoat for sure. Like that's how they do it, when it comes to us, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, and like the conclusions they draw to come up with that, very bizarre. Like where they how they come up with that. They need someone to blame for their problems. And so they just make up stuff, make up these assumptions, right? And yeah, it's no words. I have no words.
Thank God. I want to add there, right? How they basically blame people, right? Blame. I think this is because of the history book they have. You see, the thing is, if you go on YouTube, there's another dude. I actually want to shout him out. He's a Mulatto brother as well, right? Saber Bay. You want to check him out, right? You got people already starting to hate on him, saying that he's doing the colonizers ideology because he's talking about the history, and then you got people talking about how the Moors, these other tribes that are basically they're actually mulatto population. They're actually light skinned, Some of them are Arabish. Some of them are, but do you like Berber? Do you like the Hispanics, right? Basically, he's exposing the whole history, right? And the clash and how basically blacks basically enslaved those populations, and they're part of the African American population today, and some in UK and some in Australia, in all these other demographics, right? And you got people in the comments already. They're using this book. They're competing for no. I don't know how they're competing, what they're competing for. I don't see them being financially competitive. I don't see them working executive jobs, trying to be a lawyer. I don't see that. All I see is they're trying to be a dude in the hood, sell drugs, chase a lot Latina women. I don't see that, and I'm starting to get the picture here. The picture is they want the woman. They want to have a high population, right? They want influence of their. They want to spread their dumb brain, their dumb ideology of they're not like us. Oh, hood swag, pookie swag, and they want high populations. And finally, they want to collect history. They want to steal history like a land grab, right? You know, they already stole our history. They already made mulattoes. They made them identify as mulatto. Like I just made a comment saying that Bantus are mixed. They're actually mixed with pygmy, right? And Khoisanids. And you see that term light skin, right? That there's actually a Bantu convert. They're actually lighter skinned people, but their features are black. Like they look like a they just look like if you look at them, they look like a black person with light skin. That's why you see all those blacks, right? Bleaching their skin with that mulatto soap, right? And then they go ahead and use that terminology light skin. That's why I don't use that term. And that's also why I see through the cracks on how they're able to manipulate mulatto people because they use that light skin terminology. They can speak through them, right? They
Yeah.
can get them to actually, effectively help the community because that light skin convert, right? Just like, I don't want to get into it. Okay, I'll go for it. The
Well,
Jews, they're pretty white converts, right? The white converts, they convert, they're European now, they're Caucasian, they're part of the Caucasian race, right? Same way with the blacks, the light skinned Bantus, those people, they will go and support the Bantus, right? And the Bantus will speak to them, and those ones will speak to the light skin. And they essentially get influence, right? And they sabotage the mulatto community.
right,
Notice I
right,
said mulatto, not light skin, right?
right.
And so you have Saber Bay, he's exposing that part. And
Yeah, yeah.
really, that's really the history. There's a lot
Yeah.
of things that people don't know.
Yeah, well, they, and they take something that is not typical, right? I mean, to get a light-skinned black person, I mean, they are correct in that the population has been, people have been mixing, black Americans are not 100% pure African. They do have this admixture, and you will, get that shows through, genetically, but they're using that to approximate themselves to us when, I mean, having that is not the same as growing up with a parent that's of a completely other race. I mean, you know and they're also using the light skinned black people to silence us. Well, if this is a light skin, you're just a light skinned black person. It it takes away our experiences. Like, my background is my father is black American, and my mother is German. She's American now. She's gotten her citizenship for years now. But, I mean, I remember being a little girl and being, in the schoolyard and hoping and wishing that, my sister and I were in the schoolyard and hoping and wishing that my dad would come pick us up because dad was cool. Dad was black American. And, my mom was like kind of the dorky German lady. I mean, what Black American can say that they have had that experience, and they always want to talk about how mulattoes are anti-Black, and um it's always about them. But actually, when I was a little girl, I struggled, kind of being, I wouldn't say anti-German, but Germans, out of the Europeans, they're kind of known for being a little dorky with their socks and their sandals. I mean, of course, now I rock my socks and sandals, but it's like our stories, our experiences are beautiful, and they need to be told, you know. So I just want to thank you so much, Vanguard, for creating this channel and giving us all a voice.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
honor is mine. Yeah, I'm really thankful you're engaged in a discussion. This is the whole, purpose of me developing this is so to give us a voice. I'm nobody. I'm here to serve you, you people. You guys are the ones I'm here to serve. And the whole goal for me is like, I guess, a moderator or curator for my platform, whatever, is that to be away from the Black infringement, because Black people want to direct the conversation and where we go. They know, because like with this whole not like us, they're gonna push us out of their community. They know we're gonna go somewhere. And so they know we're gonna collectivize, we're gonna come together, but they still want to basically be kind of moderators over our discussions. They want to interlope in our spaces, and they want to kind of try to check us and to make sure and tone police us to make sure that our messages falls in line with pro-Blackness, and I am totally against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I no, I mean, I honor, and my Black American heritage, but no, I would not say that I am pro-Black. No, no, I would not say that.
Um,
Um,
I, I
yeah.
I wanted to add that basically the issue is with race. So mulattoes, right, have been identifying as light skinned for quite a while. The light skinned blacks, which are basically admixed blacks, they're actually mixed. Their features, if you look at them, I don't want to be too descriptive, but there's a website shows you all the ranges of features, phenotypes. They look like black people. If they were had dark skin, they look like an average Bantu, Congoid, whatever, right? But their skin complexion is light due to being mixed with the Ethiopians, the East Africans, Europeans, and obviously Congoids or Bantus, whatever. So they had those features, and when they say, "Oh, they're mixed," what they're actually saying is they have the light skin black, and the light skin black is basically a black person, but with light skin. So the actual issue would then be who is mulatto and who isn't. That would be one. The second would be language, because English is the conquered language they speak. This the language that they speak. They speak the same. They speak English. Notice all these other countries, all these other non-black European countries or other races groups, they have their own dialect. They have their own lingo. These blacks, they either speak English, right, or they speak some sort of slang, or obviously African languages in Africa, right? So what would be the issue would be then the lingo, the language in terms of influence. But yeah, out of those two, the race issue with the whole complexion and phenotype and the language, these are the issues that are affecting mulatto people, right? From being their own independent entity, their own independent group.
Well, yeah, you make good points. The thing is, we are our own entity, our own independent group. It's just a lot of us have not come to that realization. We haven't developed that kind of consciousness or had our quote unquote mulatto wake up call. I just feel like I'm ahead of the curve, so to speak, amongst many others because I've come to that realization like I said, a few years back, like at least 2019 is when I first finally realized, okay, I got to find some people, connect with some people, do my own shit, because I saw the writing on the wall right then. During that election, what was it? 20, no. Yeah, well, it was the new election cycle, and Trump was going to leave office, and I just the writing was on the wall for me, and I started to see, and I that consciousness really came right away at that point. And so I knew right then, I was like, look, I'm my own entity, I'm my own race, I'm not part of the blacks. Like, it was very clear to me in the experiences I was having. I just feel like there's a lot of mulattoes who haven't had that awakening yet, or some it happens, at
I,
a different date. Yeah,
yeah,
I want to
yes.
hear what Bunny. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jason. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'll just be quick so when we talk. I think that being distinct on what a mulatto is the best thing. I think that we should completely delineate light skinned black people from talking or identifying as mixed. However, we can see them as allies, just like the Bantu see Swahilis as allies, and the Arabs and Somalis. If you don't know, right, Somalis see the Swahilis or the Nilotes. I don't know if you know about those people. They see them as allies because obviously phenotypically they're more similar to them, right? They can help preserve their race, one, and obviously their ideas because of the lingo. I think that seeing a light skinned black person as the same way that you see they see the Nilotes as allies is how we will see it. But seeing them as mulatto, no. Even the whole term light skin, if we can find a way to kind of manipulate it, right? Maybe adding the word light skin mulatto, right? Instead of light skin, right? And
Yeah.
the whole mulatto, maybe that would actually fix what the issues, you see, because
Yeah,
it really
I
is.
don't know. I sorry to interrupt. I maybe like down the line or so, but I feel like we would need to focus on us first and getting our house in order. Um because if I'm not mistaken, a lot of them are really black identified, aren't they? Like, isn't that kind of part of the,
Yeah.
most of the
Yeah,
light skinned blacks go even harder in the paint, you know,
Yep.
you know.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the
So
issue. Yeah.
I wouldn't really, um, I mean, I'd rather like to see us focusing on things like mentoring each other and, you know, I'd like to focus on our cohesion first before we started, worrying about them. I still kind of see
yeah,
them as a them, and I'd like to
yeah.
focus on us.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it because um they
I
are
agree.
really speaking for them, so they're not for us. But yeah, I think that actually also distinctively individualizing each mulatto would actually also help because if we just put ourselves in a box, but some of us feel a bit different from each other, right? We won't be able to explore each other's ideas and individuality, and we won't be able to form a group because again, you see the Bantus, right? I'm pretty sure they all look they're different. They have the same skin complexion, similar features, but they're all a bit different, right? They all group together financially and economically and spiritually, idealistically, whatever. But they form a group together based on their similarities and perspective, right?
Well,
I
they're on code.
Yeah,
I surface wise, but they still haven't really formed genuine cohesion, like Vanguard says, they're oftentimes spending their money at the Asians, whether it's the Chinese food or the nail salon. So
they're at the bottom.
I
You're
mean,
at the bottom. They need us, so
yeah.
that's obviously what the issue is. They can't really like. I made a comment saying their race scavengers. So like even me, I had an experience. Someone asked me, am I African? And I was just ignoring them, and it always no. It's like then she said why. It's like they're looking for people to recruit. You see, so it shows the position that they're in. They need allies. They need people to be spokes. You get it? Like these people, they're already in the bottom. There's no looking at them to even see, oh, because they don't like themselves. I don't know if they don't like themselves in the mirror or whatever. They chase after these non-blacks. It's not my problem. It's not my business. That's their mindset. That's how they view themselves. But with us, I think the issue is forming some sort of order, some sort of construct. So, for example, right, if you're a
Yeah.
brown mulatto, right, and you then you have a light skinned mulatto, I think those two will pair better, right, than a dark skinned mulatto and a light skinned mulatto, right? Or in terms of skin complexion, or like for example, you have like Indians or like Somalis, like they've just been recently identified as dark skinned Caucasian, right? Yeah. So that's why like that whole description, that whole construct, I think that's better because these blacks, as you can see, there's a recent comment as well. They were talking about attacking Drake and maybe harming him. See, these people, they're very tribalistic. So I think a form of order will help because then you'll be in code. You actually understand each of his opinion, and you won't be able to be sabotaged. You won't be able to be manipulated. You'll be able to reassure each other, and you'll be on code. I think you get the idea. Each other will be able to validate each other's opinions, and each other will
Oh.
matter to each other. That
Oh.
whole
Oh.
construct.
Well. I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, um, you're saying having some sort of a solidarity despite maybe like certain differences in opinions that we might have, still
I, I
there's
I
still a
think we
seat
need
for
that
you
as
at the
now.
table, in other words, as a mulatto. Like nobody's gonna cast you out necessarily because your political views aren't the same. Are you talking about, because I definitely support that, if that's what you're saying. Like I don't care who you married, who your partner is, or you're still mulatto, or I don't care, is that what you're saying?
Um, to be honest, I'm more of a like of a radical mulatto because of the fact that I'm seeing the issue. They see us as a group. They don't. It doesn't really matter if our population is low or they see us as a entity to deal with. So I see the need for a whole group of people like the mestizos to just bind together and be able to defend each other and be your own separate because even your own household seems to be against you. That's what I see at least. So
Yeah,
if that is the truth. It may
it's
be it
happening.
sound yeah it may sound bad, but is the case. I had of mulatto friend, right? She got kicked out from her parents, right? It happens a lot. So the thing is, we need to be able to support each other, and if it means some sort of coordinated group, like you said, cohesion, yeah, then so be it. Because if we don't have any allies, we don't have anyone, and not only that, we're not the majority. And finally, the whole color thing. I had a fellow guy the other day was saying, "Oh, but you're not the same. You don't have the same hair, or he's a bit darker than you." They take
That
on that and
outsider.
they play on
Is
that.
that an
Yeah,
outsider
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. It was someone else. Yeah,
He's on a
she not
mulatto.
mulatto.
Was it a
It was
mulatto
not
saying
mulatto.
that?
No, mulattoes don't say that. Why would they say that? It was
That's the thing.
a black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So
a
they
black.
do that. They play on that. Yeah, they play on that to make you not feel as valid or as important as each other and
Yeah,
not on the same
connected.
code. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, because that's a big problem in their community, so of course they try to project that onto us. Like I think I was on, somebody's channel the other day and they're talking about, Ella Mai, right? And how she's not, I guess whatever, white passing, and she's got some more, African features, and I'm over here thinking to myself, I'm like, she's mulatta, like
Yeah,
we
she's a
know that with each other, it's going to be a range, right? Like we're all, we're all going to, have different type hair, different type features. It's the experience. I believe LMI is from the UK or something like that.
yeah, she's
Um,
the quintessential Mulatta. I mean, her aesthetic is very telling. Like I look at her, it's like, yeah, this is Mulatta woman. And yeah, like so our experiences, like you said, and that's what a lot of us it kind of it binds us. I feel like the history, I feel like, is important because a lot of us don't know that our history has been blackwashed for centuries and they're burying our history. They're rewriting it to make it seem
Yeah.
like it's a black win. They're saying free
Mm.
people of color history, try to lump us in with blacks, and
yeah.
they're not, that's a way for them to neutralize us. But I wanted to correct Jason when he said that mulattoes don't have allies. Well, we do, especially someone like me. What I'm doing here, I've developed allies, Dominican allies and Pardo allies in Brazil, and I got a colored gentleman in the chat. I have other colored people who support the message. So I've literally developed international allies. So I just want to correct that it's not like,
Right.
maybe you could say it's not substantial or not, or it's maybe small or minimal, but these individuals share my content with other people. So other colored people watch my stuff. More Pardos watch my stuff. Okay, more Dominicans are watching my stuff now. So like over the past 2 years that I've been like uploading content, my material and message has definitely spread. People are being
And
more.
quickly. Because I've Vanguard, I've been watching you since the beginning. Um, and been commenting since since the beginning, or the original EP, if you were an artist. But and quickly I could add, I mean, I was surprised that wildebeest in the first video, besides calling uh the young lady half breed, I mean, she did use mulatto. I've seen a lot more YouTube content with people using the word mulatto that I have not heard since you started this channel. I mean, so yeah, it's I mean, you've definitely had an impact. I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen people create their whole like YouTube channels. Like their YouTube channel was like mix this or something, and as soon as I showed up, they switched to mixed and put mulatto there. Like
Mm,
it's almost like they got the signal that it's okay to be mulatto. It's actually a beautiful thing. It's a badge of honor. Like we're unique and we are a group. Like embrace it. And I've noticed that like from the beginning. Yeah.
I think some form of spiritual guidance or some sort of like lineage is essential for mulattoes, because you see every group has a creed. Every group has your own agenda they serve. Most mulattoes are like they're serving both communities, right? And it's not bad to acknowledge each race, but it's also important to understand these groups, they don't like, not every group seeks our validation. They may want us for whatever, but they do that to every group. And in fact, they're not afraid of hurting our feelings. They're not afraid of using us, of doing stuff that would harm us, right? So it's very essential and important for us to understand that, and to know that, all we have is ourselves, our dignity, and we also serve like history. There's we've actually accomplished a lot of stuff, and it's very rude for a lot of these blacks, these pro whack tards on the net, to go ahead and not only try and call us mules and all these discriminative names, right? But to also steal our history, right? And identify as Aboriginal, as Egyptian, as all of these stuff, right? They have no historical ties to the land, right? They want to go ahead and steal the land and right? But it's very rude for them to do this stuff. I think a form of lineage is essential, and I think there's not only just online is because that's what they use. Most of them use that, but some form of contact as well, like maybe knowing someone or having someone you know or you're friends with, right? That is already in that agenda or serving that agenda of mulattoness, right? Chasing mulatto excellence, right? Would completely change the narrative from, oh, I'm a poor oppressed mulatto that's being, used by the Blackistan, to completely, and you said it already, we're independent, but yeah, a completely separate, like a guy that's already on their own mission, a person, a group that's already serving themselves 100% thoroughly without any, drawbacks.
If I could just add to that, um I think we really need to peel it on back and where are the blacks getting all of this, boldness from, right? I mean, because on the one hand, they're the victims, former slaves, and on the other hand, they're the aggressors, especially towards us. So when we really peel it back, is it them that we need to be concerned about, or are they being bolstered by something else, maybe white liberals?
Yeah, I that's what I feel. I suspect. I mean, I don't
Mm,
have all the data in front of me, but I suspect there's a battery being put in the back of these blacks where they're getting super bold to attack mulattoes, and they have the the green light from white liberals and white conservatives, to be honest with you, with the whole the left right paradigm, all that stuff. Both the whites on the right, because I referenced too, you have a guy, his name is Officer Tate, who's a black, like, conservative grifter, social media guy. He's got like millions of subscribers and he has mixed kids. But he was talking about this mixed woman one day and he called her a half breed. And I did a video about it on this channel. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, what type of sick, twisted bastard is he to identify that woman that he politically didn't agree with as a half breed when he's got a mixed mulatto
Mm.
child. So
Yeah,
most of his audience is white, by the way, too. So I feel like it's on
interesting.
both. It's not just the liberals, and I'm not a liberal, but let's call a spade a spade. There are a
Yeah.
lot of these blacks. See, they're being like I'm saying with this whole Kamala Harris thing, because you're going to have a lot of blacks who are going to vote for Trump. More blacks are going to vote for Trump than they've voted for any other Republican candidate, and specifically the black males, because they're stepping away from black women, so they're going to go in line with the political opposite. So they're going to vote for Trump. And guess what? A lot of those black males, they're going to be on the anti-mulatto hate bandwagon too. Against, just watch. I shared this Kamala thing. This is only the beginning. We're going to see in the next few months, it's going to ramp up. You're going to have all these examples. They're going to mislabel that woman as a mulatto, and they're going to push conspiracy theories, anti-mulatto stuff. It's good for us over here because now people know we're here, we're galvanizing, and we're going to grow from it. But we have to make people aware of what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. I just I brought it up because you know I think one of our number one priorities in addition to cohesion is protection. And how do you get protection from a class of people that are deemed as victims and a protected class? Basically, we need protection from the, like, it's like we're the ones who really need to be the protected class. But I mean, I think people have been, like, in general, kind of slowly waking up to how blacks, you know want to throw stones and then hide their hands. I think that we're not the only ones that are kind of getting sick of their antics, but we seem to be the ones that have to bear the brunt of it.
Yes, you're right. And that's
Yeah.
if we choose to live next to them. That's if we choose to deal with them, go to school. And I feel sorry. Like I sympathize with a lot of mulattoes who do. Like they have to go to school with them or they live next to them or whatever. But yeah, you're right. A lot of us who live next to them, I'd say, we have to deal with the brunt of it. But I also wanted to say as well, like you're absolutely right. We're not the only ones getting tired of their crap. Other groups are too, like Asians and Latinos, and they're calling them out too. So any of white America as well, of course. So like other groups are really getting tired of their crap, but they're in a unique position because they get to be the aggressors and predators and attack people, as you saw in the beauty supply store. But then they also get to turn around and be the victim and cry racism and you're
Yes.
anti-black. So
Yeah.
they get to
Yeah.
be racist, but then cry when someone's racist towards them. So they're in a unique position. It won't last for long. Everyone's getting tired of their shit. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was
Oh,
gonna say,
go ahead.
yeah. Go on. Okay. Um, I was gonna say, actually, no. You can talk because what I'm gonna say is gonna be different from the.
Oh, okay. I'll just finish that up by saying, yes, other groups are getting tired of them. However, they don't have the proximity to them that we do. So it's like other groups are annoyed by them. We're, you know, what's the right way to say it? I'm not sure. You know, we need to strap up, you know, like um for us, I think it's a little, it's more than just being annoyed and tired of their antics and obviously wanting to, you know, do our own thing. It's a little bit more.
It's
I
more
mean, a lot
serious.
of them
Yeah.
identify with us, even if we don't identify with them. I mean, um,
I think it's the essentialism of putting ourselves first. But go ahead.
oh no, I'm pretty much done. I
Oh, I
was
see.
just kind of saying how, you know, other groups are tired of them as well, but, you know, we're in a different situation, as we know.
Yeah, the main thing you mentioned was just the proximity, right? The adjacency. If we're close to them, like if you're going to school, one of their schools, or you work with them, or you live in an environment, then like you said, it can get kind of serious because they look at you as being a subordinate class where they feel they can talk to you and do whatever they want to you, right? And threaten you, etc.
Yep.
So that's a tricky situation. That's why I advocate to get the hell away from them for safety, security.
Uh,
But with other groups, like with Asians, let's for example, they have a page, social media called Asian Dawn, and they highlight like all the racial attacks and the depravity that a lot of the AA community is involved with. So they basically do a Asian crime report. They report all the crimes that the African Americans are committing against them. So that's one really good advocacy that they do. And remember, a lot of Asians have businesses in black neighborhoods, so they benefit. Their relationship's good because at least they financially benefit dealing with them. The thing with
Yeah.
mulattoes, a lot of mulattoes aren't getting a damn red cent dealing with
Yeah.
blacks.
Right.
They just get stressed. They get mocked. Like the woman in that store, I sympathize with her, feel for her because it's like she's getting put in an awkward situation, getting harassed and threatened, and she went in there just to mind her business and buy supplies and get the hell out. And so that's what
Yeah.
happens to a lot of us. We're not even getting paid. And we're dealing with these people, and it's like a threat or hostility. And
She
yeah,
handled it pretty well, I have to say. I know some people, wanted her to, throw hands and stuff, but no, I think that and it seemed like she wasn't alone either. She had a friend or a sister or something, because they were both just like, all right, let's just leave. Um, so I mean, as far as I saw in the video, I thought that they handled it, you know, pretty good.
yeah,
Um,
she did the right thing. She just, she recorded the whole incident. She tried to reason, but you can't reason with savages, really, sadly. But
yeah.
she
Yeah.
she got the hell out of there. She did the right thing. She just got see,
Yeah.
that's what I would do. Just take your money elsewhere, take your business. Don't go to those type of establishments. I don't. I
Oh
don't
man,
like
I about spit out my coffee earlier when you said she stumbled into the jungle.
yeah.
For real.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I felt bad for her. I saw the clip and shared it. I was like, damn, I mean, that wouldn't be me and caught in that situation. I mean, I just get the hell out of there. It's just not worth it dealing with those people. Like, it's just not worth it. There's no benefit. Like they want it's a parasitic relationship. Like they need you more than you need them. They want to take
Yeah.
everything from you and give
Yeah.
you nothing. And but they
Exactly.
look at mulattoes as being a subordinate class. They want to be able to spit on you and punk you, and then they expect you to like beg them for acceptance. It's really weird. It's really bizarre. Like, why would anybody want to be accepted in that circumstance? Like, if you don't have full membership access, because none of these black people have to like prove anything. They're just black. They just walk in and they're, a part of the club, but these mulattoes feel like they have to prove something. It's very weird. To me, it's just never felt normal. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a strange sense of entitlement to us that they have. I noticed it even in the workplace, how, if you're not interested, like in one of the Bantu guys, he'll kind of go around the workplace telling other races of people that you're racist and anti-black. I mean, it's just a cowardly, just
Oh wow.
punk at bitch ass thing to do, you
So
know?
that's what they do, yeah. So they
Um,
go shame.
so I'm looking forward to, mulattoes, kind of growing a backbone. I mean, I'd say the only thing is, if it would have been me in that beauty supply store, I mean, I would have had some words back. I wouldn't have come to fisticuffs or anything like that, but I would definitely have stood up for myself. You
Yeah,
know, in my opinion, I think a lot of mulattoes, I think we suffer from some type of white guilt also. I think we get told that, there's something wrong with being half white and all this kind of stuff. So I think a lot of the punk assness and quietness, I think a lot of us, you know, I think we've got some white guilt there too, if I'm being honest.
yeah. The stoicism is very apparent with a lot of mulattoes. I used a perfect example, like the figure of this stoicism is like J. Cole, this rapper. You heard of him, J.
Yeah,
Cole?
yeah,
So he like fits that model perfectly. He's extremely stoic, and a lot of blacks will use him as an example. Oh, he gets respect, or people like him. They don't like Drake. Well, yeah, they like J. Cole because he's not special. He's not like number one songs, number one tracks. He's non-threatening. So, yeah, like, and the thing is
Yeah.
with you, I agree. Like, I would have said some words stuff too. I talk a lot of shit, and I reference as well. When I was in the Dominican Republic, I was in Punta Cana about a week ago, and it was actually when I rented the ATV. They call it like a buggy ATV, and there was
yeah.
a group of people, and the whole group was all black. Okay. A lot of Haitians actually were in the group. The people who were like the tourists, like me, right? So I was only mulatto guy there at that location at that time. And there was one Haitian guy. I know he was American. I could tell by his accent, but he was speaking some Creole. But then he was also speaking some English. I could tell he's American. Oh, and there was one white girl there, and guess what? That white lady, that was his partner. Surprise! And of course, he made a racial comment as soon as I kind of walked into the group there, and I talked shit back. I made a racial slur, and they're all black. It's like fuck. If you're all gonna be offended, fuck it. What's up? So I was in that situation, but I'm a guy, I'm a dude. It's a little different, right? How you can kind of tell by my delivery and how I talk. This is how it is on the internet, off the internet. And I don't tolerate the disrespect from these people. I don't even deal with them like that. But if I'm in a situation, like I said, I was on this excursion to ride, ATV, and one of them wanted to get all uppity, act all funny. Well, I'm gonna mouth back off. And of course he shut up. I think he might have said something later on. I was talking a bunch of shit. Because like I was saying, there's certain times or whatever where it's like I don't have patience for them. And I'm a fighter naturally by heart. I mean, I train, whatever at box and shit like that, jiu-jitsu. But the thing is like just naturally I have a warrior spirit. And I don't tolerate the disrespect if someone's gonna try to check me or try to punk me, I mean, I should say. And so I just gave that example where I talk back a lot. And so I would, yeah, with that woman, like I think she did handle it pretty well. Like, and we can use it as a case study to examine and further the conversation here. There's other mulattoes who have access to that information. And it's a good thing because we can learn from it. And she walked out of there unscathed. She was bothered, rightfully so, and I, sympathize with her, but she did a good job. I'm happy. I just hope that she tries to connect with more Mulatta and mulatto people. I just hope that she tries to look for us to connect us with the community, because she can see her position where it's like the black males like her. Right, we get that. We understand that she's their preference, but as she found out, a lot of black women are not gonna like her, and she already knew that before that incident. That incident was just so bizarre. But go ahead.
Oh, I just was thinking of a phrase one of my friends taught me called, one good turn deserves another. And, we've held back for such a long time. I mean, decades. Um, and, I mean, why? you know, I mean, if someone's going to fire shots at you, you know, that's fine, but they better be prepared, you know, for the pushback. I mean, I'm with you, Vanguard. I'm not a punk, you know, and if someone's gonna come at you like that, it's open season.
You, can I say real quick? I
Sure.
think some form of history would be very essential. Like you see, like how people are aware now of your channel, and they're actually reviewing the clips you show and listening to the ideas you talk about. This is a form of, I don't know, you could say prayer or some sort of spiritual healing, spiritual acknowledgement, whatever. These people, their mind is being redirected to a lifestyle or agenda that they want to serve, right? Which is mulattoness. Now, people who are tuned to your channel, they're viewing mulatto stuff. They're not viewing Blackistan stuff. They're viewing things from a mulatto perspective. Sorry about that. That is the same way a mulatto can essentially be himself by actually like I checked something. I don't want to say too much. It's kind of negative and positive, but I was talking about Brazilian groups, right? Institutions, Pardo institutions. I won't say Pardo, Latina or Mestizo institutions, right? I was checking stuff out. I was seeing what they're doing, what's going on with them, right? And I'm starting to like see it's really of a creed, because the thing is the blacks, they are on a agenda. They all follow code on a specific agenda, and that is to be pro-whack and serve themselves and eat and take everything they want.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's the Bantu expansion. It's Bantu expansion. And part of that is to amalgamate, to mix with other groups of people, right? Like Caucasians and Latinos and Asians, even, and to mix with them and to claim the mixed offspring as black and then to push pro blackness through their mixed offspring, right? This is literally part of the philosophy is they talked about like the browning of Europe or browning of America. They're talking about Bantu expansion, that they want to mix in and fuse with these other groups to create mixed people who they will claim to be black. They want to try to blacken everything up. That
Even
the
very
Oh, go
real
ahead.
philosophy. They're on code with that philosophy. Go ahead, Bunny.
I was just gonna say the major flaw. I've never. I mean, yes, I think you're right about that. But the major flaw in their ideology is they're not known for being fathers. Like they've got, like you said, this that So like the majority of us are raised in the white community. If you're white or black, or if you're black and Asian, they make these kids, but they abandon them
yeah,
in the other team community. So the other team raises the offspring. So I mean, it's a cute attempt, but it's really not that. Um,
it really. I think
it's
what
a
it
it's
is.
it's a definite a majorly flawed strategy.
I don't think it's flawed because if you look at the way they're doing it, you see if check some of my videos. I don't want to advertise myself, but I sound sometimes very soft, like my tone, my voice. It's called punking, right? When people talk down on you and you can't really do anything because you don't have an agenda, you don't have a purpose, you don't really know what you're doing, right? Maybe you're doing something and you forget what you're doing because of the amount of people you're intimidated by because you don't know why they're there, what they're there for. They come with a domineering force. That's your agenda. Make these children, right, and then go ahead and basically essentially punk the kids into accepting their rulership and come with them and be crash test dummies whilst they absorb the woman, right? That's their whole. That's how they move. But
Yes,
what I was gonna say,
exactly.
okay, you can go ahead.
No, you're good. You're on a roll. I just want to say, just you go ahead and continue. But I want to say, you said when they want to use their kids as crash test dummies and they want to absorb the women. That's that Bantu expansion. Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So the way to combat this is a creed. Is an agenda. They have an agenda. Okay, understand the agenda. Understand the destruction of black civilization. Understand your enemy because they're opposing you. So they're your enemy, essentially, in the case of them, because they're creating conspiracies against the men and creating they literally have already sexualized the image of the woman in our image, right?
Exactly. Like the lady in the beauty supply store. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue, please. Yep.
So the way to combat this is to actually create an agenda away and direct it towards yourself, towards collectively rebuilding, rebranding, restructuring your own group, your own people. And that could be done through history recap and essentially patrilineage, patrilineageism, whatever you want to call that. Basically, essentially following men's leads throughout the mulatto world, right? You have groups, you have institutions, whatever they're doing, you research it, you thoroughly watch it. Yeah, exactly. You can see they over sexualize. They post. No
This is the
offense, most of my family, part of them, right, from the black side, they're all dating mulatto women. All right, typical of their
yeah.
kind, right?
Yeah. This
All
is the
dark
same.
skin Bantu.
This is the same woman. Okay. And like I said, this is a picture where she's mostly clothed because you scroll down her timeline and it's kind of wild. But look at this comment here. Beautiful black queen, love the fro, Mister. So see, the misters of their communita are gonna claim she's black, but then the queens of the communita, as you saw in the beauty supply store, are gonna say she's a mulatto, half breed, pink bee, right? You guys see how this game works. And remember, Tommy Soto Moisture came to her defense, of course. So this is the game that they play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there to say? I'm gonna kind of close things out, guys, because I gotta get up in a few hours, go to work. It's been a very good, insightful live stream. I'm very happy that you guys joined the panel. We can continue this discussion. Got a lot of people listening, and I know they found a lot of value to it. You guys want to add some kind of closing words before I close this out?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say we need to do something about these things they're doing, because I think one of the next topics you can make, Vanguard, is based, it could be the creeds, is it could be Dear Creed, Dear Agenda for us, right? And also you can make a video back to back on the agenda we have for them in the in the Latin world, right? In the part of world, in the African world, because believe it or not, there's the Berbers, they're light skinned mulattoes, right? You could find out the agendas for that. We could research their agendas, right? And then like a back to back, and then we could also talk about the sexualization of, of our counterparts, and the sexualization of their counterparts, how they kind of like market women, and how just understanding them, because whether you like or not, these people, I don't really hate, I don't want to discriminate. Humans are humans, that's how they are. But I'm seeing it very barbaric. I could understand why people may have been discriminating on against them, because the behaviors, it doesn't seem to change. They'll go ahead and protest about something, but they'll still do the same thing, right? And they know what is they're doing is some has some form of negative connotation, or it's negative, it's bad, right? But they'll still do the same thing again, and they'll do it worse. They'll act very brash, and they go unchecked. They do this stuff a lot, So it is important to understand their agenda, our agenda in the world where we're dominating, right? And also to understand what they're doing with our female counterparts, or women in our image, right? I think that's next thing we could talk about. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you make a lot of great points. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Yeah, excellent points. Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be uh an amazing topic. We do have some classier representations. I mean, I think, Meghan Markle is definitely a pretty classy representation. But you're right, there is sort of this agenda to over sexualize mulattoes. I've noticed it. I was on some YouTube creator's channel, and it was a white guy. It was like a low tier white guy, and he made this whole video about Meghan Markle, and I think her and Prince Harry, they did a, gosh, what was it, where I forget the African country, pardon me, I believe maybe it was Nigeria, because
Yeah, or South
um
Africa. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and he was, he's clearly what they would call a bottom shelf Brad, and he was simping and grifting for black women, but he was making all these comments about how she wasn't, you know, like pretty much twerking, you know, and doing all, like moving her butt and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, she doesn't have to do that. So I've noticed that there's, a lot of other races have picked up on how blacks police us, and they've taken it upon themselves to also try to police mulattoes. How black are you? How white are you? I mean, Meghan Markle, is married to the Prince of England. She's not going to be up there, shaking her butt and twerking and all this kind of stuff. So, it's almost like if you are a classier mulatto, mulatta, the message is like, why aren't you, you know, being more provocative. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I got to get up to early, but I think that would be a great topic. I mean, there's certainly a lot there. And and then he also had made a comment about this white guy made a comment about how Meghan Markle always straightens her hair. And I'm like, mulattoes don't have an obligation to wear our hair some type of way to appease anybody. I mean, we are in the US of A, baby. I mean, we are free just as any other woman out here. If you want to do natural, to wear your hair. Anyway, that's enough, girl talk. That's my perspective. But, yeah, that would be a really good topic.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
there's a lot.
sharing. Yeah, your perspective is definitely wanted and welcome. So I appreciate that. Yeah, and like what you said with the policing like of blackness and like over analyzing mulattoes of like how black
Yeah.
we are or how white we are, how we identify. It's like we just have to develop and do our own thing, okay, to solve all that foolishness because it's it's giving us more like pressure, if I can say that, and more stress than that's needed. We already have to live our life, go to work, have family obligations, other, outside of work obligations, relationships, etc. We already have enough stress, okay, in our daily lives. Like we don't need another group of people trying to police our identities to see where we fit in to make themselves feel comfortable because they don't feel comfortable with their position in society. So they want to try to use us to get closer to another group. And we got to stop all that crap. We got to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and everything that you do is racialized, like,
Yeah,
every little move that you make is put under some kind of a microscope. I mean, it's just that's got to stop.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Vanguard. I wanted to add that just to recap, just to reaffirm, these are people, right, that not have not only bullied and like basically subordinated mulatto people, right, but they've also ostracized and they essentially outcasted our only counterpart and image of women. They've also essentially used your own woman against us, right? The women in their own image, and they've essentially stolen their history. These people are not your friends. Just trying to reaffirm to Malala people, you gotta realize that. You gotta also understand, light skinned black people, they're also in on this as well. So that
yes, they
whole
are.
light
Yeah,
skinned black, that is not that, I don't subscribe. If I see those people, I see them as black people. I'll call them black, right? Yeah,
yeah,
you're light skinned black. I always say black. I always say black. Like they call themselves, they say they're light skinned black. Yeah, light skinned black. You're light skinned black.
yeah.
Vanguard is a light
Yeah.
skinned mulatto. That's what I'm saying. That's how I'm gonna. Very clear distinction. Very clear description. We just need to be precise. They
Inconsistent.
cannot claim to be
Yeah,
mulatto. Exactly. If they go ahead and say I'm a mulatto too. Oh, my grandmom is, yeah, yeah. You look like a mulatto. Yeah, with that fuzzy cut you have there on your scalp. Yeah, but yeah,
well,
Yeah.
that's what I want to say.
yeah. Yeah, it's tricky because they try to play dumb and fool a lot of people. And like when I first heard of these mixed spaces, they had like a lot of different, acronyms and, terminology. like they developed MLS, mixed light skin. So they tried to push the mixed people in with light skins, and I knew it was going to be an issue because you have a biracial person, if they're black, white, or whatever, mulatto, that's not the same as a light skinned black person who's racially black identified. Like it's not the same. So I've always been trying to push for this kind of specificity and clear distinctions. When I say mulatto, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's
I,
no
th- I
further. Yeah, but I still see it pop up, like you said, with like the light skin thing. And I know it's like, well, there's a lot of light skinned guys who they like my content and stuff, and I like their content, and it's cool. But I always make the distinctions known that, like, yeah, this mulatto is not the same as a light skinned black person. We have to be clear here. And and the agenda as well. What agenda are you gonna serve? Because
yeah.
if you're serving the black agenda, okay, that's fine, but I'm not serving the black agenda, just so we're clear. Let it publicly be known. I don't serve black people. I have my own mulatto agenda, period. But
Yeah.
yeah, guys, going a little overboard here. I'm going to end it now, and we can continue this discussion the next couple days. I'll have another live stream, talk about some other stuff. But oh, Jason, he just dropped off.
Oh
I
yeah, okay.
I just wanted to ask you something real quick before I head out. You said you've been following me for a minute, right? I've been uploading content for like 2 years, so
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure you've seen like some of the collabs that I've had, people I've associated with. It's kind of a weird ball game here, like especially on YouTube, where you know what I look like, right? You see my pictures in a DR. I'm very public, right?
Yeah.
But what I've had to learn is a lot of people I've kind of collabed with or stuff like that, they were not as public as me. So it kind of put me in a weird position where I am basically, kind of quote unquote exposed, meaning people can, mock me for how I look and my image, but then they maintain behind the avatar, right? So, but
Yeah.
I grew way, like more substantially than them. And then now you have people who will make false claims saying that I'm like scamming or buying subscribers or I cheated. They'll say I'm a con man. I cheated to get ahead. Like this is social media. I collaborate, I connect with people, and this is how I get ahead
Yeah.
here. But I just want to ask: have you seen a lot of that stuff? Like the kind of the people the channels I used to kind of promote, and then over time, the falling out happens and stuff like that. It's a weird game on the internet.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, and I haven't seen that. I think that it's like you said in one of your previous videos, you just filled a niche and you cornered the market and you were just really needed. And I feel like um part of you growing so fast was just because there's a lot of us out here that have been feeling this way, and it takes a little while to feel comfortable vocalizing it. I think a lot of the silence, like I said earlier, I think a lot of the silence of mulattoes comes from white guilt, honestly. And I think that blacks have been successful in shaming us. I think a shame plays a huge role. And, we almost feel like it's our duty because we're half white to help them, identify with them, serve, whatever it is. But you have it 100% right. We're not getting a good deal out here. We're not getting any deal. And most of the mulattoes in the past have spent their lives caping and doing all of this stuff for the black community, and you get absolutely nothing out of it. And like, imagine if we were to turn that energy towards ourselves, which is so neat. I mean, we have our celebrities don't even identify with us. Zendaya, I love Zendaya, but I hate that she identifies as black.
Yeah,
I mean,
Alicia Keys also is another one. It's very unfortunate. Yeah.
but yeah, I'll let you go because I know you got to get up early, and so do I. But no, I don't. I think that you grew quickly because the audience was here. We just,
There's a demand. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you gracing, your presence here. Because yeah, I see your engagement and stuff like that, and I appreciate the support. It means a lot to me. Like I said, that's like fuel for me. It's motivation for me to continue to, give us a voice. Like I said, this is a collection. And I'm nobody. I'm everything with you guys. This is us, the community. So I really appreciate you hopping up on here. Thank you.
Yes, I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Cool. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Yes, bye.
All right, guys, I'm going to end it now and I'll see you guys pretty soon. So, adios.